Minnesota goes for defense, has also come up with a fine quarterback in Jim Zorn. And remember, Patera's team upset Oakland last week, and that's the first time since 1965 that the Raiders have been beaten twice in 1 year by a single team. I think we can pause for just a moment by saying, Paul Warfield, you've been in them before. This is a big football game.
It's going to be a real barn burner, a lot of scoring, and I'm just really excited about what's going to be happening down on the field.
We asked both officials. They both said, oh, it'll wind up about 30-28. Jim Simpson with Paul Warfield. Stand by now. We've got a good game coming up. Both teams in playoff contention. The executive producer of NFL 78 is Don Ohlmeyer. Today's show was produced by Don McGuire. Directed by Bob Levy. Technical director Sal Nagita. Associate director Mary Buda. And now remember, coming up, it is the Cleveland Browns 7-6 against the Seahawks of Seattle, who are also 7-6. They're looking for a playoff.
NBC Sports presents the best of the National Football League, the American Football Conference. Brought to you by Dodge and your Dodge dealer, who invites you to come in and see why people are saying, hey, that's my Dodge. By Schlitz, beer makes it good. Schlitz makes it great. And by Avis, the We Try Harder car rental company.
For the 5th consecutive time, the Kingdome in Seattle, Washington is sold out. For the 11th time in their 3-year career. And for this ball game, Cleveland 7-6, Seattle 7-6. Let's take a look now at the standings. In the West, Oakland and Denver play tonight. Seattle is just one game behind both the Raiders, whom they've beaten twice, and the Broncos. In the AFC Central Division, Pittsburgh is 11-2, Houston 9-4, Cleveland still in the playoff situation. They've got to win them all. They're 7-6. And over the East, New England is playing this afternoon. Miami is beating Washington, hanging right in there. The Jets and Baltimore playing each other. That's the AFC as we head for the playoffs. And the toss of the coin has been won by the Seattle Seahawks, and Cleveland's Don Cockcroft will kick off. Rufus Crawford is the deep man along with Al Hunter. Crawford 34 near side, Al Hunter 24 far side. Both of these teams, especially the Seahawks, have a history of winning not only in the last quarter, not only in the last seconds, but on the final play of the game. And this is Al Hunter at the 1. To the 10, Crawford blocking for him across the 25. Hunter out to the 33-yard line, where Seattle will put it in play. Al Hunter out of Notre Dame returns it from the 1-yard line to the 33.
Al Hunter takes his return kick, starts up the middle, breaks to the right. He's behind a wall of blockers. The play almost broke as he got by number 83, Ricky Feature, but there's number 89, Keith Wright. He's the man that makes perhaps a game-saving, if not a game-saving tackle, certainly one that saved a touchdown.
Now Jim Zorn will come out at quarterback. Third leading passer in the conference is on the other side. That's Brian Sipe. Zorn, for all the statistics, all of his records, is not among the top 5. Zorn back to throw, being blitzed, gets the ball away. He's got his tight end, John Sawyer. Sawyer across the 50 down to the 47, where Clarence Scott makes the stop. First down, Seattle. This will be an exclusive and explosive game. Jim Zorn at quarterback.
That's right. Jim Zorn is the explosive quarterback, and the running back slots are manned by Sherman Smith and David Sims. Two good ones. Here, look at the receivers. John Sawyer, who you just saw take that pass and advance it for a first down. Sam McCullum, and, of course, Steve Largett, who is the top pass receiver in the AFC.
He has caught 57 balls. First down, 46.5-yard line, Seattle. Look out. Ahead goes Sims inside the 40-yard line, but that was Mike St. Clair, who was on the wrong side of the line of scrimmage. Question, was he called off by the stutter count or moving Seattle man? And it is Seattle that is walking backwards.
Number 74, Mike Sinclair, down the bottom left of your screen, will move and make contact with 73, Norm Evans. He was pulled offside by the staggered cadence.
Well, Seattle started to walk backwards, Paul Warfield, but now they're indicating it was the Browns who are offside. Our referee today is Don Wedge, number 28. And they move ball inside the 40-yard line, and now they're going back. Now they're walking off the 5 yards.
Browns have had a little bit of trouble staying on sides this year.
You know, this is the second game we've had Don Wedge in 3 weeks, and it's the second time he's faced the wrong side of the field.
You have to give him a signal down there on the field and get him turned around.
This way, Don. Nick Bebout, Tom Lynch, Art Kuhn is at center because Yarno is in the hospital watching Bob Newton at right guard, and Norm Evans is starting over Steve August, who has a broken finger on his hand. First down 5 from the 42. Largent is the man in motion. Zorn hands to Dave Sims. Dave Sims dragged down. Fine tackle. Dick Ambrose, the middle linebacker. Now defensively for Cleveland, Mike St. Clair, Earl Edwards, Jerry Shirk, and Mac Mitchell. The linebackers, the veteran group, Charlie Hall, Dick Ambrose, who made that tackle, and Gerald Irons. Defensively,
in the secondary is cornerback Clarence Scott, the other cornerback Oliver Davis, Tony Peters, and Tom Darden. Free safety Tom Darden, one of the top interceptors in the American Football Conference.
With 8 interceptions. Second down 2. The ball just inside the 40. First man is Sims. He's got the first down and more inside the 35-yard line. Dave Sims. And hanging on to him is Gerald Irons, the weak side linebacker, number 86. It started at the 33-yard line after the 31-yard kickoff return of Al Hunter. And a big play from Zorn to John Sawyer. Seattle, an exciting team. Their last 5 games, they have been decided by 3 points or less. 6 times in their 7 wins, they've scored the winning points in the final quarter. Zorn, and there goes the man. Smith, flag down, back around Zorn, who was being pursued by Mike St. Clair. Flag way down. Sherman Smith carried the football. Don Wedge will come back and tell us what it is as they're moving downfield, so obviously it is not against Seattle. And they're going to walk it off even more. It could be that Mike St. Clair did something to Jim Zorn. Here's Don Wedge.
Personal foul on the defense, number 74.
That's what it was.
On the quarterback.
Mike St. Clair took a shot at Zorn.
Well, that's the kind of thing that definitely will hurt the Browns football team this afternoon. Seattle is a fine football club. They can't afford to give them any bonus yardage or negative yardage on personal fouls of that nature.
3 wide receivers in there. Ball at the 13-yard line. Seattle on the opening drive. That is Largent in motion. Zorn sprinting out left. Zorn throwing. He's got Largent across the way inside the 10-yard line. Knocked out of bounds by Tony Peters. They double cover Largent, but it doesn't do any good.
Steve Largent, who is going motion across your formation out of your screen. Zorn rolls to his left, throws a short out pattern to him. The Browns are trying to cover Largent, double covering with both safeties in the slot, but he's moving in motion from left to right to put him into one-on-one situations, and that's freeing him up.
Second down and about 3 to go. The ball just over the 6-yard line. McCollum left. Largent to the right. Jumping around Sims. Flags go down. Sims with the football inside the 5-yard line. It looked as though Cleveland was trying to play some games there, Paul. Stunning, as they did on nearly every play against the Rams a week ago when they were so successful against Hayden. But this is going to be, hold it, Wedge first of all pointed to Seattle and now points to Cleveland.
It looked like it was number 66, Earl Edwards, moving. I'm not quite sure. We'll have to wait and take a look. But
talking things over with the veteran Norm Evans, who is filling in for Steve August, who has that broken finger. Norm Evans, Paul knows a lot about from the days at Miami together.
That's right. Norm Evans manned the right tackle spot for the Dolphins during the championship years, did a great job of it. He's very happy to be in a situation with a winning team here now.
Well, here's Don Wedge.
Offsides. Defense. Number 66. Half the distance. First down and goal.
Earl Edwards. Offside. They bring in Robert L. Jackson now. It is first and goal to go from the 3-yard line. 2 tight ends. Straight ahead, Sherman Smith still battling as he gets to the 2. The fake of the pitch to Sims, who was going outside. The give to Smith, who came straight ahead. Dick Ambrose leading the tacklers. This ball club, Seattle, if it wins today, will have won 8, tying an all-time expansion record for a third-year team. Cincinnati, winning today, perhaps its second game of this year, won 8 in its third expansion year. Second down and goal to go. The ball's nose just about on the 1. Sherman Smith, touchdown.
Sherman Smith takes his hand off, follows Dave Sims, who puts a nice block on Tony Peters there, number 20. It's wide open. He's behind number 61, Tom Lynch. Nobody's going to get him before he gets in the end zone. Touchdown, Seattle.
A friend Herrera in to kick the extra point. He is the man who, with 3 seconds to go last week, hit on his longest field goal of the year, 46 yards for the winning score. And Herrera knocks this one through. 11:50 to go. A 67-yard touchdown drive with Sherman Smith going over from the 1.
From Berkeley to Boston, they know the best call on any down.
It was open last night.
Beer makes it good. You said it. There's no debate. Beer makes it good. Schlitz makes it great.
11 million times a day, America reaches for a Schlitz.
Since 1849, there's no debate. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer. Schlitz makes it great.
For those parents who realize that $600 isn't too much to spend to expand their child's world, Radio Shack has the perfect gift. TRS-80 computer, the most significant investment a parent can make. Programs for your child's education or your business, finance, and home use. Let your children discover tomorrow's technology today. The TRS-80, the biggest name in little computers. Only at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
Larry Wright, who leads the NFL in kickoff returns, number 89, near the top of your screen, and I should say Keith Wright and Larry Collins at the bottom of your screen. There are 3 Keiths from Memphis State in this ball game, all drafted last year. 2 on the roster of Seattle, 1 on the roster of Cleveland. Keith Butler, Keith Simpson, and Keith Wright. Here's a friend Herrera to kick off with Wright and Collins deep. Seattle looked awfully good, going those nearly 67 yards with their opening drive. The big play, the Zorn to Sawyer pass. Now Cleveland will get its hands on the football, and it'll be Larry Collins at the 13. Collins with good speed across the 25, and an excellent open field tackle. Looked like Cornell Webster, number 38, down under the kick. And so now for the first time, the Browns, who have been exceptional on offense these last 2 weeks, come out onto the field. And here is their lineup.
Quarterback, one of the hottest ones in the NFL the last couple of weeks, Brian Sipe. And behind him will be Greg Pruitt and Mike Pruitt. The receivers are Ozzie Newsome, one of the better rookies in the league this year. Dave Logan and Reggie Rucker, the veteran wide receiver, who's having an outstanding year.
In the last 2 games, Brian Sipe is 30 for 45, 555 yards, 5 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Outstanding 2 games after he was being put down by the press and the fans. Here's a pass over to Dave Logan. Logan is hit down by Dave Brown, the veteran of the secondary for Seattle, after a pickup of a couple of yards. Doug Deacon at left tackle. He's been there nearly forever. Shafrath was there before him. Henry Shepard at left guard. Tom DeLeon, a questionable starter today. They thought Jerry Sullivan might come on, but DeLeon is in there. Robert E. Jackson at right guard and Barry Darrow at right tackle. Second down and about 8 to go. 7-0 Seattle. Still more than 11 minutes to go first quarter. Ball on the 31. Sight to Mike Pruitt. Mike Pruitt across the 35. It'll be third down and 2 or 3 yards to go. Tackle made by John Harris with a little help from Sammy Green, number 56. Defensively, Ernie Price, Dennis Boyd, and Steve Niehaus is the new man there because Sandifer is out. Bill Gregory at right end. That's the defensive line. Man down is Dave Brown there under the picture. The veteran who made a good tackle a play ago. Sammy Green, Terry Beeson, Keith Butler. Outstanding young linebackers, Paul. And their defensive backfield now with Dave Brown out. Holding on. We'll give you that defensive backfield in a moment. Suffice to say, it is 7-0 and Seattle leads.
Wherever you go, our new Dodge.
Upper left-hand corner of your screen, Dave Brown limps off. So Keith Simpson, the #1 draft choice, is coming to the cornerback. Cornell Webster, Keith Simpson, Autry Beeman, and John Hetler. And Cleo Miller is in the backfield now and has the football for the Browns. Miller trying to get around the side and cannot get around the side at all. Harris was there, Niehaus was there, and Beeson was there. And it's 4th down, and they'll have to kick the football away.
Here's a look at the Seattle middle linebacker, Terry Beeson. He flows in laterally along the line of scrimmage, and Seattle stacks up this play, and he gets an assisted hit on Cleo Miller to stop Miller before he can, of course, gain a first down.
That is Rufus Crawford, who is deep. Johnny Evans will do the punting. There was some thought today that if Evans does not punt well, Cockcroft will kick. Johnny had a bad day against the Rams last week, averaging only about 33 yards per punt. Oh my, 33 yards last week. He booms this one. Crawford driven back inside the 10-yard line. Keith White misses him there, and Crawford gets out across the 20. A fine punt return for Rufus Crawford. And it's 1st and 10, and the Seahawks have the ball again. 33.5 yards last week, Paul, and 57 yards on that punt. Next Saturday afternoon, we move to Saturday afternoon football. Baltimore in a tussle with the Jets this afternoon at Pittsburgh. And I think you know the Steelers are well in command of the AFC Central Division. Before today's ball game, they're playing at Houston. Pittsburgh was 11-2. Playoffs are not far away. First down, Seattle. David Sims with the football, gets out to the 25-yard line. A gain of 2.5. Let's call it 2nd down and 8. Jerry Shirk and Mike St. Clair made the stop. Some scores around the league this afternoon. Miami has defeated Washington, shutting out Washington. And the Redskins have now gone into a pratfall, losing 5 of their last 7 games. Cincinnati won its second, bombing Atlanta and perhaps out of the playoffs 37-7. Los Angeles in a tough one beat the Giants 20-17. They have clinched a playoff spot. Baltimore's lost to the New York Jets, who are still very much in a playoff running. They are 8-6. Largent in motion. Zorn hands the football off to Sims. Sims cut down on a nifty tackle by Clarence Scott, but he's very close to the first down across the 30-yard line. Green Bay has defeated Tampa Bay, and that is a big one for the Packers. They started tied with Minnesota 7-5-1. And Minnesota, at last report, was losing to the Eagles in a snow-bound field up in Minneapolis. And the news that they were going to get a dome stadium, I guess after today, looks very good for Minnesota. Third down and short yardage, about 1.5 yards. Al Hunter has joined Sims in the backfield. Sims with the football. Sims wrestled down. May have the first down. Robert L. Jackson, number 56, came over. The #1 draft choice of the Browns of a year ago. And this will be very close. Don Wedge is going to call for measurement.
Seattle likes to run to its left side and run behind Tom Lynch and Nick Bebout. They did a good job of running to that side last week against Oakland, and so far in this ball game, they're moving the Browns' right side of its defensive line.
The measurement for the first down, and they've got it. Cleveland in the rat race has been outstanding and explosive in the last 2 games, getting 45 points against Baltimore and 30 against the Rams, and have wound up their NFC competition 4 for 4. Seattle, which started in the NFC last year, has switched to the AFC this year and It's quite a shakeup for the teams of the AFC and especially the Oakland Raiders. After 1 year, Seattle has moved into the AFC. This is their 3rd year. First down, Zorn. Back to throw on first down. Has a man open, and that is Largent. Double covered. Sawyer was in the neighborhood. And Largent has his 58th catch. 59th catch. 2 today.
Jim Largent, the Steve Largent, rather, the #1 pass receiver in the American Football Conference, is running a sideline pattern. Nice move to the inside to turn Clarence Scott around. Turns back, comes back to the ball, perfectly thrown by Jim Zorn. It's a big gain of 21 yards.
Edwards comes back in as they go back to a 4-3. Cleveland has been switching between the 34 defense and the 43. First down, 46-yard line of Cleveland. Sims a couple of yards. Sherman Smith was shaken up on that first drive. Sherman Smith did score the first touchdown of the ball game, but recently has been Al Hunter in there along with Dave Sims, and now we have Sherman Smith coming back onto the field, so that's all conjecture as a man is down. Our telecast today presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or the use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Seattle Seahawks and the National Football League is prohibited. Dave Sims is the man they're working on. Testerman is the man that's down. Number 42, Don Testerman. They've got the glasses on him, and he is the backup to Dave Sims at fullback out of Clemson. 7-0 to score. And as I said, Paul, at the beginning of the ball game, for those of you who are watching NFL 78, that one of the newspapers this morning said, how do you like holding the hand grenade? Because whoever loses today, it goes up and the season is over.
Well, that is about right. You know, we've talked in the last couple of weeks about 10-6 records, and both teams have an opportunity to finish 10-6, but they've got to depend on some other people. But the most important thing for both Seattle and Cleveland today is to try to win this ball game.
The old story, as we look at Jack Patera across the way, to win the rest of them, you wind up 10-6, and you just take your chances. Seattle has a feeling, in order for Seattle to win the division championship, and they feel that they've got a better chance as division champions. Now we see who it is, and that is bad news because that is Art Kuhn, the center. Remember, Yarno is the center. He is in the hospital watching, and Art Kuhn goes out, and so Lynch, the guard, will have to switch over to center. And Bullard will play guard. So now Seattle off to a fast start, Paul, in a real shakeup in their offensive line.
It does cause a real shakeup for their offensive line, and it's a problem that you don't like to see late in the season, simply because this team does has a chance to get into the playoffs, and they're going to need all of the people to help them out going down the stretch.
Well, Tom Lynch is now the center to Zorn. Zorn dropping back. Zorn has a man wide open, and that is McCullough, makes a nifty move, and Rob Bolden drives him down at the 22. First down.
Play action pass. Jim Zorn takes the snap from center as Lynch, the new center, does a good job of holding out Clay Matthews. Zorn then fires to Sam McCullum, the other receiver here on the Seattle team. Makes a nice move. Gets number 28, Ron Bolton, to run right by him. Bolton comes back to make the tackle. Clarence Scott was up to assist.
5 defensive backs, and Zorn was still able to complete the pass. First down, Seattle leading 7-0. Zorn hands the ball to Sherman Smith, and Smith gets down there the 15-yard line before Dick Ambrose, number 52, and Jerry Shirk, 72, make the stop. Now I'll go back to what I was saying about Seattle. They feel they have a better chance to win the division championship than to be a wild card. But for them to win, they've got to win all 3 of their games. Denver's got to lose 2 because they beat them twice, and Oakland has got to lose only 1 because Seattle beat Oakland twice. I guess we'll all just wait and see who goes. If everybody wins, they're not in any trouble. Here's Zorn handing off. Quick goes Sherman Smith. He does a lot of that play-action handoff ball, sprinting out and handing off on the sprint out.
It does resemble a sprint out. It's sort of like a delayed draw with Sherman Smith either running it or David Sims. But whatever back is running the ball, Seattle does a very effective job of running inside of guard and tackle, and that's exactly where they're going after the Browns. The Browns have their strength in their defensive line right in that area with Earl Edwards and Jerry Shirt, but Seattle's going right to them.
Seattle offense doing an outstanding job today, but remember, last week against the Rams, the Cleveland offense gained 357 yards against the #1 defense in the league. Against Seattle today, the Browns have not been able to move. And apparently, the Seahawks are moving toward yet a second score as they measure to see whether or not they've got another first down. And it looks like they do, does it not? Again by half the length of the football.
Jim Zorn is doing an excellent job of mixing up his plays. He's throwing the football on first down. He's coming back with that sort of like delayed sprint out draw play, and it's been very effective. It's keeping the Browns defense quite a bit off balance.
First down from the 12-yard line. 5:19 to go first quarter. It is already 7-0 Seattle, and the Seahawks are driving. Largent goes way wide left. McCollum comes to the right. Zorn hands off to David Sims. Big hole, cuts outside. Stumbled a little bit, and that allowed the defense to catch up to him. Led by number 21, Oliver Davis. A little stumble called Sims a lot of yardage, perhaps. He picks up a yard, second down to 9.
You know, Jim, we've seen that draw play called down inside the 20-yard line with a team going in for an apparent score many times this year. It's been a very effective play, and Jim Zorn is sort of staying with that pattern that other quarterbacks have used throughout the year in the National Football League of calling that particular play down inside the 20-yard line.
You hold your breath as Largent comes wide to the right. He's the man Zorn looks for. McCollum is on the left, and now Rabel is also in. Largent in motion. They've been confusing the defense. Zorn back, looking, throwing to the up man, gets away, and guess who it is? It's Largent. Flag is down in the backfield. And I said you hold your breath over Steve Largent, and there he was. But the flag is down in the Seattle backfield, and the Seahawks are walking backwards. And the Seahawk is despondent. I think it's quite clear that Mac Mitchell will decide they'll take the penalty.
Well, Mac probably says someone was guilty of holding him.
Here's Don Wedge.
Personal foul.
Oh, personal foul. That's the second time, apparently, against Jim Zorn. It is first and goal to go. Let's see if we can find it.
Jim Zorn dropping back to pass. He's looking left, but he'll be waiting for Steve Largent, who's coming into your screen at the top of the left portion. And we just saw where Zorn was hit late. That's Tom Darden, who Steve Largent shakes. Now he's running, and he's trying to get in, but there's Gerald Aarons and also Dick Ambrose waiting, and they stop him just shy of the goal line.
If they score here, it'll be the second time that a personal foul on Cleveland against Jim Zorn will have been called in a scoring drive in the first quarter. Second man through is Sherman Smith. And did he get it? Did he hang on to the football?
Probably did all that he could do to hang on to football. Brown's line was really stacked up in the middle that particular time. Zorn straight handoff right here to Sherman Smith, who's trying to go up and over. He goes up, he goes over, but he doesn't go in.
Funny thing, Paul, and it's not funny for those that watching in Cleveland and rooting for the Browns. 2 personal fouls have helped move Seattle into deep territory, although that play was good to the goal line, and it meant nothing. Now Zorn comes back out and starts for the sidelines as we see Art Kunis come back in, and Lynch has gone back to guard. Zorn has called timeout with 3:26 to go. Well, here's the score. Seattle leading by 7 and threatening again.
Not again. You okay?
Oh, I was running to rent a car, and this man was tying his shoelace, and just as I was about to jump over him, he stood up.
If you had an Avis Wizard number and a reservation, you could walk through airports. Just show your credit card, license, sign, and get your car.
Oh, good, let's go.
Avis, walk. Walk.
I'm walking through airports.
Avis now features GM cars.
Wherever you may roam, you'll find this near your home.
Oh, hi, it's me again,
roasting and tasting more posters. This time it's for the first annual Delco battery sale. AC Delco is making it possible for you to buy a Freedom battery at a special sale price.
Thanks. It is second down and goal to go for Seattle. Bullard, who is playing guard, he's listed as a tackle, is now going to tight end as Kuhn came back in. You'll see Bullard, number 72 on the left side there. He plays tight end in short yardage situations. They've got another shot from the 2-yard line. Largent goes in motion. Zorn hands to Sims, and I don't know where they got it. They've gone straight ahead. Seattle is a team of the unexpected, but on the first 2 downs here, they've done the expected. Now, hold your breath. They're liable to do something entirely unexpected, trying to get these extra couple of inches. The Browns trying to hold on. Still a lot of time left. Jack Patero's done an outstanding job. And as Paul said in Cleveland, as we were talking on NFL 78, the Browns and their fans are very happy with Sam Rutigliano. Not much. Look, well, there's the distance you've got to go. Couple of inches. Now Sims, touchdown. Seattle has taken the quick lead, with Herrera coming in to make it 14-0 if he can. Dave Sims.
After 2 unsuccessful tries in the middle, Dave Sims goes off tackle. He's hit by Dick Ambrose, and he gets a little bit of help from Robert L. Jackson. But he gets in and he breaks the plane for a touchdown. Dick Ambrose, number 52, protests and says it isn't so, but the official says it is.
They say he's got his 12th rushing touchdown of the year for David Sims. And Herrera has his second point of the day. And with 2:54 to go, Seattle has taken the quick lead, 14-0 over the Browns.
Hey, come here. Take a look at this. See? Wow. The new McCulloch chainsaws. This is the new Power Mac 320. Look at these teeth. They can sharpen themselves with a press of this button. Wow. And see this? Is that a tail? No, it's a handle mounted to soak up vibration. What's this? McCulloch's chain brake handguard for safety. That's smart. No other saw at any price has all those features. Yeah, but it doesn't have much personality. And you do?
The new McCulloch Power Mac 320 in the yellow pages under saws.
Is your Dodge Aspen looking better all the time?
Jim Simpson, Paul Warfield, Collins, and Ryder deep. And the big thing, Paul, now is the Browns have got to generate some offense. We all know Seattle has had offense today. Now it's up to the Browns to get back into this football game.
You're absolutely right, Jim. The Browns have been playing a little bit flat up to this point, and they cannot afford to get too far behind because Seattle continues to pour on the points.
Herrera to kick off. Rather short kick, and this is going to be Collins again. Had a good kickoff return last time. Gets away from a man across the 30, cuts back across the field. Now it's a foot race, and I think he's been caught from behind by number 23, Doug Long. It was a first-year man out of Whitworth College, a free agent. And here's that kickoff return again. Collins with a second good one.
Short kick. Larry Collins receives it. Gets behind the ledge. Wedge. Number 23, Doug Long, gets a shot at him. He gets away from Long, but Long stays with him and follows him until he brings Collins down. He runs him down from behind.
Ryan Sipe and company come out trying to pick up something. First down at the 35-yard line. They haven't had the football too much today. Look at the full house backfield. Now that is Reggie Rucker coming out of that backfield. Play action fake, and there's number 85, Dave Logan, first down across the 45-yard line. Hit immediately by Keith Simpson as Brian Sipe says enough of this nonsense of handing off. Let's go to the air. And he did. First down at the 47. Next Saturday at 4 o'clock following that Baltimore-Pittsburgh game, we've got the AMF Grand Prix of Bowling. A $100,000 purse, $10,000 to the winners of each division, men and women. And I'll be right there from Reno, Nevada. Hope you'll join us. Outstanding and last big bowling event on the tour. There goes Greg Pruitt turning the corner. Pruitt A saving tackle by Harris across the way, but another first down for the Browns. And if we knew they needed offense, so did they.
Certainly did. Greg Pruitt, the man who generates the big play for them, takes his hand off. The Browns are trying to get outside of the Seattle defense. Pruitt gets around on the outside after a couple of good blocks. Then number 44, John Harris, makes a big tackle. Pruitt showing good balance there, but he just can't quite keep his feet.
Ball just inside the 42-yard line. 1:57 to go. The Seattle scoring drive, 77 yards. The other one was of 66 yards. Two long scoring drives. Cleveland trying to put one together, one of its own. Mike Pruitt carrying the football. And that's a good run. After the pass to Logan and the run by Pruitt, that seems like not much. But Pruitt picked up at least 6 yards, and it is 2nd down and 4. So the Browns have begun to move the football following the kickoff return of Larry Collins. 1:35 to go. Brian Sipe, the last 2 games, has quieted his critics. 2nd down. Both wide receivers to the right. They bring Pruitt to the left. Pruitt gets one block and not much yardage. Picked up maybe a couple of yards inside the 35. It'll be 3rd down and a long 2. Butler and Beeson and Harris all in on the stop. Greg Pruitt saying, Paul, that he has not had the kind of year he wants, especially with all of the injuries he has had. But statistics tell us in his career with the Browns, every time he's carried the ball, he's averaged 4.7 yards.
And even though he hasn't had the kind of year statistically that he would like to have, he's right close to that career average around 4.6.
3rd down and a couple of yards. Rucker in motion. Sipe to throw for it. Throws and overthrows Logan. Logan was coming back upfield and then had to lunge back, and Rucker saying, how about me over here on the sideline?
Rucker did appear to be all alone on that play. Dave Logan was not that closely guarded. A little better pass by Brian Sipe, and I think he would have been able to come up with a completion to Logan. Reggie Rucker here going in motion. He'll go downfield, and as you watch as he turns up, he looks for the depth in which he needs to get for the first down, turns outside all alone, and no one around him. But Brian Sipe elected to go to Dave Logan. The pass was a little bit high. Logan couldn't come up with the catch.
Well, this is going to be a 50-some yard, 51, let's call it, 51-yard attempt by Cockcroft. Was 9 for 11 between the 40 and 49, but has missed on his only attempt from over 50 yards. A long way away, and Cockcroft goes for the 3 points and does not have them. And that means the ball will go over to Seattle at the 34-yard line. They did not go for the first down. It is early in the ball game, 31 seconds to go, first quarter, and Cockcroft missed from 51 yards out. Sellout here at the Kingdome in Seattle. And I have here in my hand, I don't know if you can read what it says, but it says Super Seattle wants the Super Bowl. Well, it could mean that they want to stage the Super Bowl here. I think that's what they have in mind. But if they win today, they might be hardened that they would like to be in the Super Bowl. They might make the playoffs. First down. Zorn's going to throw on first down. Has a lot of time. Gets the ball away and passes it by his man Sawyer, the tight end. 2nd down and 10.
Sawyer had to turn to make that catch, but it wasn't an extremely difficult catch to make, and he probably should have come up with the reception.
2nd down and 10. The Browns have been sporadic on offense. They've had a couple of good plays, a pass to Logan, a run by Pruitt, and that's been the strength of their offense thus far. 2 big plays, but got no closer than the 34-yard line. It is 14-0. We are in the first quarter. 3 wide receivers. That means Rabel, number 83, is also in there. Ball is handed instead to Sherman Smith, trying to get outside, and Smith lunges across the 40-yard line. It was Tony Peters that got to him first. You see Jerry Shirk with him now, but number 20, Tony Peters, just on your left of the screen there, is the man who made the initial hit. And it'll be 3rd down and 3 to go. And I think that's the last play of the first quarter. And the first quarter, you would have to say, belongs to the Seattle Seahawks. They've done all of the gaining of the ground. They've done all of the scoring. 2 short plunges, 2 long drives. And it's 14-0. And we'll be back with the second quarter of today's football game after these messages from your local station.
Bob Hope's.
Big game. Pittsburgh 3, Houston nothing. First quarter. Lynn Swan out with bruised ribs or a rib injury. Earl Campbell is out. No report on him. He's on the sidelines. 3rd down and 2. Smith in motion. Zorn back to throw on 3rd and short. Throws and has his man, and there he is again. That's Largent. 3 Cleveland Browns around him, and Largent got the football. They called it a steal, an 8th-round draft choice from the Houston Oilers.
Jim Zorn rolling to his right this time. He's looking for Steve Largent. He's waiting for him to come open. Largent runs an excellent pattern on Tony Green downfield. On Tony Peters, that is, downfield. And comes up with the catch.
Largent now has 61 catches on the year. First down just inside the 40. In the first quarter, Seattle had 125 yards and Cleveland 38, and they're starting out just like that in the second quarter. Zorn looping it long for McCullum. Overthrown, interference. And it may be against McCullum because down there it is Tom Darden who is clapping his hands. And Zorn, as he claps his hands in disgust. So they'll move it back. You don't see too much offensive interference. Paul Warfield doesn't think there's ever offensive interference, but you guys do that now and then.
No, we don't do that.
Here's down wedge.
Pass interference. Offense, number 84, first down.
First down from near midfield. McCullum. Largent has caught 4 balls. We told you that, for 57 yards today. And he is very close to the 1,000-yard mark. He started out with 933, so he's 10 yards away from 1,000-yard in receptions in 14 games of this 16-game season. Largent in motion. The lone setback is Sherman Smith, and he's got a lot back. Smith has the first down. Picks up 21 or 2 yards inside the 30-yard line. And it was Mac Mitchell who had to come back to make the stop. Number 70.
Well, it's the same play, that delayed sprint out play. And Smith is running with a lot of daylight in there. The Seahawks were first down in about 15. He got it all back for them in one big chunk, and they're still marching. The Browns had better get their defensive act together or they'll be in a lot of hot water.
Now everybody knows how the Seahawks were able to beat Oakland twice in 1 year. Explosive ball club. It'll be all uphill if they get 7 more here for the Browns. Zorn back. He's had time today. Largent by himself. Touchdown. All by himself. 27 yards.
But it looked like it was an apparent mistake in the Browns coverage that allowed Steve Largent to come that wide open. Oliver Davis, I don't know if you'll see it, rolls up, but Jim Zorn drops straight back in the pocket, lost the ball over Oliver Davis's head. The safety will come into your picture. I believe it is Tony Peters, but it's too late. Here comes number 20, Tony Peters, as Largent cuts back across the grain, gets in for the score. Apparently there was a mix-up in the secondary coverage.
Harari in to add his 3rd extra point in about 16 minutes and 9 seconds. And does. Largent has now caught 5 balls for 84 yards. He's over 1,000 yards. He has a touchdown. And more importantly, Seattle's got a 3-touchdown lead.
This fresh egg is going.
The division-leading Oakland Raiders square off against the high-scoring Miami Dolphins, part of an exciting NFL doubleheader next Sunday on NBC. Check local listings for the games in your area. NBC Sports.
Jim Simpson with Paul Warfield before an exciting Kingdom audience, and I'm sure the folks along the Cleveland network are stunned that their Browns that upset and handled the Rams last week with 30 points against the #1 defense are not only losing 21-0, but the point is they've got nothing. Here is Keith White. He's the leader in the NFL. He fakes the handoff and gets out across the 25-yard line to the 27. And now if we set it after touchdown number 2, we will repeat it after touchdown number 3. The Browns have to get their offensive act together and get it together in a hurry.
What the Browns really need right here is a big play to get them to get some kind of momentum generated and going. They have not been able to move the football that well. They have not been able to stop the Seattle Seahawks offensive football team, so they're going to have to call upon their offensive team to get things going right now.
Defensive team has been on the field nearly the entire first 17 minutes of the ball game. Cleo Miller, Mike Pruitt, the setbacks. Check that. Greg Pruitt and Cleo Miller. And that is Cleo Miller trying to establish something, and it's a fine play by Dennis Boyd at the line of scrimmage. Knocked him down, and I think I saw a flag across the way. And it's going to be holding against Cleveland. Nothing has gone right for the Browns today.
Well, they've had their problems on defense with personal fouls, and now they're going to be assessed a holding call on offense.
De Leon is coming out. He's had ankle problems, and Jerry Sullivan goes back in at center for the Cleveland Browns. They're taking the 10 yards. It'll make it first down and 20 as they march the ball back inside the 20-yard line to the 16-yard line. 13:36 to go.
Holding, offense, number 44, first down.
That's Greg Pruitt, 34. It could be 54, De Leon, who just went out.
Penalties certainly have hurt the Browns this year, and they're going to probably establish a mark in this game that they're not very proud of as being surpassing their record for penalties last year.
A lot of teams are establishing records with penalties this year. Brian Sipe has his man. That is Cleo Miller across the line of scrimmage. Miller keeps his balance and gets knocked down at the 23-yard line. He picks up about 7 of the 20 yards needed. It'll be second down and 13.
Brian Sipe driving straight back in the pocket. Cleo Miller slips behind the defensive line. He throws the ball underneath the coverage to Miller. Miller is being tackled by Beeson, who spins him around. Then he's hit by number 27, and that is Autry Bremen, and Miller loses balance and goes down.
Last week, after the ball game was over, George Allen, who did the commentary, said, "I like Brian Sipe. He's a winner." Pat Hayden said, "His accuracy impressed me, but today Sipe has been unable to get on track." But now he's got his man, and this is Greg Pruitt, and the flag is down.
Greg Pruitt with the reception.
Back inside the 20, and that is holding again against the Browns. Second time on this series.
Well, it's certainly not a way to get your momentum going and get going downfield. They're getting more yardage assessed in the wrong direction than in the right direction.
Well, Warfield, I'm sure the Cleveland Brown fans are saying, how can we come off a 45-point performance against Baltimore and then beat the Rams so handily and play like this?
Well, they're not playing very well, but this is a game that really means a great deal to them. It's a must game, and it's in a must game category, and it's still early in the ball game. Perhaps they'll come out of it.
Offense, number 65.
That's Shepard, Henry Shepard. That is the 6th penalty picked up by the Browns thus far today. 2 of them have been holding in this series, and 2 others have been roughing the passer. Personal fouls. Second down now and 24 to go, and the ball on their own 13. 5 defensive backs. They show the full house backfield, but Rucker will come out of that swinging to his left. And Sipe is forced to throw. Has time, dumps it out here to Cleo Miller. Miller across the 20. Miller cuts back and cuts back the wrong way because he cuts back into nothing but blue. And down he goes at the 25. And it'll be third down and 12.
You're absolutely right, Jim. The screen was set up pretty well. If Cleo Miller would have stayed on the outside, it looks like he would have been able to gain a few more extra yards, but instead he cut across the green and back into the blue-shirted Seahawk defenders.
Number 35 coming in is Calvin Hill, who 2 games ago had that outstanding game against the Browns, catching 3 touchdown passes. They like to throw to him coming out of the backfield. And on 3rd and long with Calvin Hill in there, look for him. Both wide receivers are to the left. Third and nearly 12. Hill is coming out of the backfield. Jones looking the other way, and Cleo Miller is knifed down by Keith Simpson, but he didn't catch the ball anyway. By the way, Dave Brown has a bruised hip, and he'll be examined at halftime to see whether or not he can come away and play again. Johnny Evans will kick the ball away to Rufus Crawford. Evans, under fire for his poor punting job a week ago, hit his first for 57 yards. And the cry you hear, those in Seattle know, is for Rufus Crawford. It is not a boo on the part of the sellout crowd. 21-0, and Seattle has looked outstanding on offense, and their defense has just shut down the Cleveland Browns. And the Browns have not helped themselves on offense or defense with penalties. Jumping offside, personal foul. Look out! Sent it into the end zone. He takes it out for the safety. 2 more points. They'll kick it away from the 20. Evans held his poise on that one to get it out.
Well, here's a snap from center. And Johnny Evans has got to be a little bit taller to come up with this catch. He knows it. He's going after it right away. A rookie player, Johnny Evans, does a smart thing right here. He just backs the ball, picks up the ball, takes it out of bounds, and takes to safety.
Well, they'll kick it away from the 20-yard line. When we come back, it'll be a free kick. Seattle is winning big.
Okay, Atari.
Well, I know of only one other team that has come back this year from a 23-0 deficit, and that was Houston against New England. And unless the Browns get their act together here, it doesn't appear likely that they'll come back. Johnny Evans is marching off. He cannot kick the ball on the Seattle side of the 20. He's got to stay his side of the 20, taking a couple of practice steps, and now will boot the ball away after the safety, and this will be Rufus Crawford at the 30-yard line. Crawford trying to get outside. And now he may get outside for a lot. Across the 40-yard line. 30. Flag down, and it may be clipping back at the 40-yard line. A Cleveland Brown defender peeled back. And a Seattle Seahawk that looked like he had a perfect block on him suddenly found himself clipping, and I think it's 72 Bullard that did the clip. We'll wait and see. I'm calling it ahead of time, I know, but I believe it was 72 Bullard about to throw a block. The defender peeled back to get Crawford, and as he did so, Bullard then hit him from behind. Referee Don Wedge checking to see the number. Apparently not to see the number, but to see the location of the football. Backs it up this side of the 50-yard line.
Illegal use of hands on the run back, number 72. It's just a 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, there's a difference between the clipping and the illegal use of hands. They hit him from behind, which would have been 15, but when there's illegal use of hands, that cut it down to 10.
Rufus Crawford starting to his left, finds that area shut off. Now he starts to go back across the grain. Clay Matthews misses him. There's number 72 Bullard. His hands are on number 89 Keith Wright.
First down from the 49-yard line, and this is Sherman Smith. They've been able to run all day long. That's nearly a first down, if not a first down inside the 40-yard line. Tom Darden came up to make the tackle.
Out of the I formation, quick pitch to Sherman Smith. He follows number 61 right there, Tom Lynch, but he cuts inside or back across the grain, gets a good block, and it's a good game for Sherman Smith. He's been in the Browns secondary all day, and he's been spelling a lot of trouble for them.
Cleveland looks like they need something, not only offensively, but defensively, Paul, to turn them around. A fumble, an interception, something, a big play, a big throw for a lost play, but they're not getting it. Seattle keeps marching ahead, doing an outstanding offensive job. First man through, and that is Sims, and Sims may have that first down inside the 40-yard line. The Fiesta Bowl, and we welcome them to the NBC schedule. That's on Monday, and you're right, it's Christmas afternoon at 3:30 Eastern Time. Arkansas, which decimated Texas Tech last night, knocked them out of any chance for the Cotton Bowl against UCLA, and the Bruins, I'm sure you know, had an outstanding season in the Pac-10. Arkansas and UCLA, the Fiesta Bowl for the first time on NBC Monday, Christmas Day. Have you done your Christmas shopping yet?
Yes, I try to get it done ahead of time every year. And
I'm sorry I asked. First down from a 39-yard line. Two wide receivers, both to the left. Largent now moves in motion to the right. It's 23-0 Seattle. Look at the hole Sherman Smith has. Tremendous. Another first down inside the 30. Tremendous hole.
Whether it's right or left, it's Sherman Smith. This time it looks like it's a play in which he comes across Jim Zorn. He gets a couple of good blocks there in the interior line. Then he breaks a tackle himself. All good backs in the National Football League have to have that capability, and then he stumbles on the carpet and goes down in front of Tom Darden.
Kansas City up. Well, they didn't upset Buffalo. Kansas City's done an outstanding job. Marv Levy having a great year. There goes straight ahead this time. Almost another first down. Gerald Irons makes the saving tackle. That defensive front four of the Cleveland Browns is absolutely being shredded, no matter, as Paul said, they go right or left. Now, in all games, the highest point total that the Seahawks have had at 31 points when they beat Chicago 31-29. They already have 23, and they're on the march with nearly 8.5 minutes to go. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
You're watching the Seahawks on KING TV, Seattle.
Jim Simpson, Paul Warfield, Seattle first down at the 17-yard line. Sims now is hit down at the line of scrimmage, almost hit behind the line of scrimmage. It is Shirk that got him down, and the first man to hit him looked to be Robert L. Jackson, number 56, as they're in a 34 defense. So it is second down and 8 to go. 8 minutes and 3 seconds to go here in the second quarter, the first half. And folks, if you join us late, it has been all Seattle.
It has been all Seattle. The Browns defense must come up with some effort to stop them right here, or else it could become embarrassing.
3 wide receivers. Zorn on second and long. Throws, and there's a diving catch made by McCullum. Inside the 10-yard line. Very close to the first down. Oliver Davis. Well, I don't care where you play on the Browns defense today, Paul. Front four, linebackers, defensive backs. They're having their hands full and without much success.
They're having a lot of trouble out there this afternoon. Jim Zorn seems to be extra sharp today. It doesn't matter whether he's throwing to Steve Largent or Sam McCullum or to the tight end John Sawyer. He's hitting them all right on stride, and the running backs are doing a great job. The Browns just have not been able to cope with the Seattle offensive attack.
Well, they say Jim Zorn is a left-handed Fran Tarkenton of the future. The players believe in him, and if you watch him play now and then, you will believe in him. He's an outstanding quarterback. They are just that shy of the first down. But they've got time. The ball is just about at the 7-yard line as Earl Edwards will now trot in as they'll go to a 4-man front. The Browns will again. And Bullard comes in and Sawyer comes in. So they will have 2 tight ends. And Bullard, you saw him in your picture there. He's going over and saying, I'm number 72, but I'm playing tight end, which means I'm eligible to catch a pass or to leave the line of scrimmage and go downfield. St. Louis has won another one, beating Detroit 21-14. After losing 8 in a row, the St. Louis Cardinals now are 5-9. They had a 4-game winning streak broken last week by the Eagles, who at last report were beating Minnesota. We'll have a lot of scores for you as they occur. Minnesota and Green Bay should be coming to a close. Green Bay has already won. Minnesota was losing to the Eagles. Al Hunter's in the backfield now. 3rd and short. Sims has the first down inside the 5-yard line. Lost the football. Lost the football. The Browns are coming out. They've got the football, and that may be what they need. We said they need a fumble recovery or something. Looks like Tom Darden came up with it. Jack Patera had a chance to put the icing on the cake.
Dave Sims takes this handoff. He looks like he's going outside tackle, then slips inside behind big tackle, offensive tackle Bob Newton. He's hit by number 272, Jerry Shirk. The ball pops out. There's Tom Darden, number 27, scrambling for it, has it, tries to get to his feet, but Jim Zorn, number 10, is there with a host of other Seattle tacklers to stop Darden.
And the Browns have the football on their own 9 and now have 91 yards to go to get something on the board with 7 minutes to go. First half, they're down by 23 points. Sipe almost in his own end zone for Recker. He's there. Lost the football. Belongs to Seattle. And here comes number 38, Cornell Webster. They've turned it right around. He's still on his feet across the 45. Seattle. But back at the 34, there's a flag, so it's a question of where the ball will be spotted. Rucker had the ball perfectly. Big gain. Looked like what the Browns needed to get back into the game. Hit and fumble. And they'll straighten it out for us from here.
As Rucker was trying to make the tackle, after he had fumbled the football, he believed that he was clipped.
Well, apparently the officials believed him too, Paul. They marched off 15 yards back to the 19-yard line. John Harris called with the clip. Let's watch it again.
Browns are trying to get right back into it. Brian Sipe goes to the receiver who produced the big play for Cleveland all year long. Reggie Rucker, as you notice there, he did not quite have the ball tucked away, and he was hit instantaneously by Seattle defenders, and that ball popped right out of there. There's Rucker being clipped. And now we see the run back by Cornell Webster of 34 yards. Pretty good when he spins, turns, gets out of trouble before being brought down by Greg Pruitt.
Now the Browns defense is bouncing around a little bit as though they've got some fire after that play. Zorn may have missed a handoff, but anyhow, Way has Largent, and there's Steve Largent again. First down out of the 30-yard line. Oliver Davis had a tough time with him, and Largent has caught yet another ball. Before the game, the word was that the Browns would probably double-team Largent. I don't know if they've double-teamed him all the time, but whatever they've done, it hadn't done a bit of good.
Well, if you try to take away a pass receiver, Steve Largent has caught a lot of balls here today, and he continues to make big catches. And that one, that particular play, it looked like Oliver Davis was one-on-one on him, and Largent just turned him completely around and made a nice sideline catch.
6 minutes to go. First half, 23-0 Seattle. First down. Zorn fakes, goes to handoff, gets the ball away, and right there was Robert L. Jackson. He was the only man in the vicinity, aside from the tight end, Ron Howard.
Jim Zorn threw the ball that time with a lot of pressure on him. It's the first time that the Browns have really pressured him from the pocket position during this ball game. Browns have taken, here's a look at the pressure that Zorn will get. Number 70, Mac Mitchell, and also Charlie Hall coming on the blitz. Zorn's a great athlete. You see, he steps right up inside of Hall, and he gets the pass away and saves Seattle from coming up with a sack.
Second down. Rabel is wide to the right. McCullum to the left, and Largent is slotted left. Now goes in motion. Zorn on the sprint out. Hands off, and now there's a play that's been working all day long. This time Dave Sims gets nothing out of it. But as we said, Paul, after that big play, the Browns defense looked like they came out with a little extra juice. I don't know if they'll be able to hold them, but they came out as though we've got a shot. We can move the ball. Now let's hold them and then get back and move it.
Well, I should say it's about time, because Seattle has been taking it to the Browns defensive unit pretty good all afternoon long. Not only have they been moving the ball up and down the field, but they've been taking advantage of that, and they've been putting the points on the scoreboard. And had not that fumble occurred the last time, it's possible they may have been 3 or 6 more points up.
First time of the game, Seattle is 3rd and long, 3rd and 10. They've never been in this situation before. They've been able to control the offensive line. Zorn is back, has a lot of time, drills the ball, and down goes Sims, and that is not a first down. At the 35, they'll have to kick the ball away. Dick Ambrose, the middle linebacker, the leading tackler, made the stop. And for the first time today, we will see Herman Weaver, number 18, come into the ball game. Herman Weaver into the game. Seattle has been outstanding. 66-yard drive, 77-yard drive. Largent has caught a half a dozen or more balls, including one for a touchdown of 27 yards. A snap from center went over the head of Johnny Evans for a safety. It is all Seattle thus far. Each team needs it. Both teams 7 and 6. And Weaver gets off a poor kick. And a fair catch called for by the up man on the play, Ozzie Newsome. I think Ozzie would like to take that fair catch back. Went to his knees, but caught the ball at the 38-yard line. Well, there's the score, 23-0. We've got 4:22 to go, first half.
He was a man who never...
We had a Sports World special edition yesterday, the light heavyweight championship fight from Marsala, Italy, and we get back into business as usual on Sunday, January 14th. All kinds of events from all over the world, and of course, we're leading up to NBC's coverage of the Olympic Games in Moscow in 1980. It'll be weekly starting Sunday the 14th. A 26-yard punt by Weaver has given Cleveland its best field position of the day. First down at the 38-yard line. They had something going. Feature is in there. Rucker's not come back. We'll check on him. Here's Greg Pruitt. Pruitt's going to pick up some yards across the 40, and Pruitt is out near the 50-yard line and out near a first down. The last time the Browns had the football, they moved it well and then had to punt away. Then came the fumble by Rucker, and he may have been knifed. There's Rucker, and he does not look to be hurt, Paul. So when Feature came in, and now Feature is coming out, as they're going to have a measurement, but as yet Rucker has not gone back in, and we see Keith Wright. Well, here's something. We have Keith Butler in the ball game, 53 for Seattle. We have Keith Simpson in the ball game, 48 for Seattle. And we have Keith Wright, 89 for Cleveland in the ball game. They're all teammates last year at Memphis State. They're all named Keith. But now they're facing each other for the first time. This is the measurement to see whether or not the Browns got the first down. I can't tell. Look, they did. They've got the first down near midfield. 4:15 to go. Browns get on the scoreboard here, and it's not a lost cause. If they go in at 23-0, failing to move the football, failing to score, it'll be a tough dressing room at halftime. The best penetration by Cleveland has been to the 35-yard line. Remember when Don Cockcroft tried a field goal of more than 50 yards? But they're starting out with their best field position here. Wright to the left, Logan to the right. And Keith Simpson is the man who's got to be on Keith Wright. Former teammates at Memphis State are one-on-one on the far side of the field. And there's Greg Pruitt. Pruitt explodes into the secondary. Pruitt still on his feet. Pruitt gets a block. Pruitt is inside the 10-yard line. Will be marked at the 7. First and goal to go. And as Greg Pruitt had a 57-yard touchdown canter against the Rams last week to turn that ball game around, Pruitt may have ignited something here with his 45-yard run. 45 yards, Paul.
Greg Pruitt, once he's in the secondary, is one of the most dangerous broken field runners in pro football. And here he shows you his ability and his speed as he runs by Cornell Webster, and then a game-saving tackle by number 48, Keith Simpson. But little Keith Wright, number 89, hustled all the way across the field to try to get a block.
Ricky Features bringing in the plays along with Keith Wright, and Rucker has disconsolately taken a seat on the bench. Could it be because he dropped that football?
I don't think so, Jim.
Here's Sipe looking end zone, looking Logan. Touchdown. Cleveland comes back, and that was thrown over Keith Simpson.
Brian Sipe on this play-action pass is looking to his left for Dave Logan, a big man, 6 foot 4 inches tall and about 218 pounds, and he's got the advantage over number 48, Keith Simpson. Logan is a big, strong receiver, and he comes up with those kind of catches.
Well, the Cleveland Browns, who are over and dead for 23 points worth, have come back. Still 4 minutes to go. We told you their offense looked juiced up after the Rucker long catch and the fumble, as though they knew they would finally move the ball. Well, they've come back and moved the ball 62 yards, the last 7 yards of which the throw from Sipe to Logan, but the biggest 45 yards, the run by Greg Pruitt. And now, folks, we have a ball game. Seattle 23, Cleveland 7, first half.
Pick up one of the 2 newest.
Jim Simpson with Paul Warfield, Al Hunter nearest to you, Rufus Crawford across the way, and Don Krockoff to kick it off from a 35-yard line. 4 minutes exactly to go in the first half. Well, it's a cliche barn burner, but everybody expected this to be one, and it may yet be one. Rufus Crawford is back, and Rufus has the ball at the 3-yard line. Outstanding kickoff returner, gets the wall, comes out, flag is down across the way as Crawford goes down across the 30. But there's a flag down out near the 35-yard line. And so maybe it is now Seattle that's having a little trouble getting its act together after racing out to the 23-0 lead. A good return by Rufus Crawford, but a holding penalty apparently will be assessed And that'll be 10 yards from a 34, and we'll take it back inside the 25. Oh, they're going to step it off from a 30, so that'll take it back even more. And now that's not holding. That's going to be a personal foul. Let's see what Don Wedge has to say.
Hold on the run back, number 48, first down.
Holding on the run back is 15 yards.
Well, it'll be interesting to see exactly.
Look at this.
New Orleans.
The reason I say look at this, that's the first time, Paul, in their history they won 6 ball games. Pittsburgh and Houston all tied at 3. Lynn Swann is back. Earl Campbell has not come back. There's still 20 seconds on the clock, so hold it here. First time in the 12-year history of New Orleans that they won as many as 6 games.
Well, the people down there in New Orleans have got to be real happy. Archie Manning has had a great year this year at quarterback. Dick Nolan moved in as head coach for the first time this year, and he's really resurrected that ball club.
Time was called before the snap of the ball. Gerald Irons is the one that's talking out, and
well, couldn't be a better fellow than Gerald Irons. He's studying law at one of the universities in the Cleveland area, and I'm sure he's quite a negotiator.
Well, Frank Sinkovich was saying something. I'm going to move it 5 yards because I could not figure out 15 yards. I figured I didn't know the rule. It has to be 10.
Holding on the run back is only a 10-yard penalty.
That's what I thought.
First down.
I couldn't believe that. So it brings it out to the 20.
Point that I was going to make before we were interrupted. It'll be interesting to see if Seattle can really get their offense going, and it'll be interesting to see if the Browns defense now has really risen to the occasion.
All right, first down from the 20-yard line. Here's Zorn handing off to Sherman Smith. That's worked all day and worked for about 4 yards this time. Jerry Shirk grabbed him along with Gerald Irons as he went by. It'll be second down and 6. Clock continues to run 3:35. And so the indications are that the Cleveland defense has tightened up a little bit. And the obvious fact is that the Cleveland offense has been able to at last put a touchdown on the board. It's 23-7. Second down and 6 from the 24. Rabel is to the left. Largent goes wide right along with McCullum. And Zorn drops straight back. Setting up the screen, it looks to the tight end Sawyer. That's what it is. Sawyer's got the first down and more across the 35-yard line. Mac Mitchell came back to make the tackle. They'll spot it out near the 37.
Tight end screen play is set up very well. Jerry Shirk beating in on Jim Zorn, but he's a cool customer. He waits and gets the ball off to Sawyer. Sawyer is following the blocking. Gerald Irons has a shot at it, but Gerald is knocked down by Tom Lynch. Number 61, Sawyer keeps moving on, and he's stopped by Tom Darden.
23-7 Seahawks. 2 minutes, 35 seconds to go in the half. Ron Howard has come in as the tight end. The Sawyer has gone out. Still 3 wide receivers. And Zorn still throwing. He's been throwing all day. Boy, he took a hit as he got the ball away. He really got clobbered as he got the ball away. Jackson and Shirk in there on him hard, and he threw in the vicinity of a blue jersey and in a group of orange pants.
He was looking for Steve Largent, and Largent was a little bit slow making his cut. Watch him as he double pumps right here, and that's all that the Browns defense needs. That's number 56, Robert L. Jackson, a big hitter, a big linebacker.
Second down and 10. Zorn is hit on 11 out of 14 for 171 yards already. And of those 71 yards, 27 went on a touchdown pass to Largent. Second down 10. McCullum this time to the left. The other 2 wide receivers to the right. Second down 10. Handoff. David Sims. Sims. That's Ambrose up top, and he only picked up a couple of yards out near the 40-yard line. And it'll be third down and long. About 7 to go. 3rd and 7. And for the second time in the last couple of minutes, and for the first times in the ball game, Seattle has faced 3rd and long. That has not happened too often in this ball game.
Seattle has shown and demonstrated great ability to move the football. And Browns defense is starting to tighten up a little bit. if they can hold Seattle here, they can establish some sort of field position and perhaps get another score before halftime.
Well, our good friend Bob Hope. We always love to do the Bob Hope golf tournament. He pays a tribute to Columbus, Ohio. And you should listen to this, Paul, because you went to Ohio State. Columbus, Ohio's Ohio Theater on its 50th anniversary. And Bob's guests tonight will be Lucille Ball, Donnie Marie Osmond, Ginger Rogers, Vic Damone. And as I said about the Desert Classic, it's the first NBC golf schedule that we've got for 1979. You'll see it on January 13th and 14th. Old friend Bob, well, we see him around a few ballparks, baseball, football. He is around everywhere. I tell you, you see some beautiful colors up in the great Northwest, and I guess he's just adding to it. We did a thing last week in Baltimore. Paul and I were down there, and a little trivia for those of you who did not see that game. The first professional, meaning National Football League cheerleaders ever, were in 1954 at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. Next year they're having their 25th anniversary. Third down, 7 to go, 2:13 to go, and the Seahawks up by 16 in the first half. Zorn, no surprise there, has a back coming out. Sherman Smith does not throw there. Fine catch. Fine catch at the 50-yard line. First down, and guess who did it? Rabel. Steve Rabel. But Davis right on top of it.
Jim Zorn stepping back, dropping back in the pocket. This time he gets a little pressure. He steps right up and looks for Steve Rabel. Rabel having a fine season this year. Fine pass receiver, running a hook pattern to the inside, comes up with a big catch for a first down.
Sherman Smith was also wide open, and we have exactly 2 minutes to go. And an offensive first half, 23-7 Seattle.
Polaroid's one step, simple as can.
Look at this score. Minnesota pulled it out. They were down by about 10 or 12 points in the third quarter, 28-27. Now that means that Minnesota and Green Bay are now 8-5-1. They are still tied. Minnesota's beaten Green Bay twice. But more importantly, Washington, which lost today, they go 8-6. Philadelphia almost moved ahead of them, 9-5. Now the Eagles go to 8-6, and so they are still alive. What happened? With 1 minute 49 seconds to go, Fran Tarkenton hit Ahmad Rashad 20 yards for a touchdown pass to win the ball game. First down from midfield, Seattle. Zorn hands to Smith, who picks up a yard, and that's all. Jerry Shirk at the bottom there. Art Kuhn, the center, getting over the ball quickly as time is rolling away, and they still have a couple of times out. But they want to conserve them. Oh, and Smith tried to run with it before he had it. With him there was Clay Matthews, the rookie out of USC, but he was a couple of steps behind Smith, and Smith, as big as he is, can run awfully fast.
Well, Smith was wide open, and as you said, he tried to run before he caught that ball. Clay Matthews was at least 2 or 3 strides behind him. Looked like Smith would have been able to come up with a big gainer there.
Third down to 9. Clarence Scott comes back in. As they've gone to 5 defensive backs, figuring that Zorn, well, what's new? Figuring that Zorn's going to throw. 3 wide receivers again. He's been very effective. Largent, as the big man, is in motion. Zorn is back, has time, now sprints out of it and will get the ball away and throws behind his man. And that is number 89, Duke Ferguson, who has come in. And it's 4th down. Zorn had time, then ran out of time.
Jim Zorn showing you a little bit of his magic as he sits back in the pocket, waits, looks to his left, feels a little bit of pressure, steps up into the pocket, starts to run, knows exactly where he is, and watch him stop before he crosses the line of scrimmage, fires to Duke Ferguson, but it's a little bit behind Ferguson, who's running from left to right, and he can't quite turn to make the catch. 4th
down, Herman Weaver, who had a 26-yard punt last time, is out to punt again. Coming up at halftime, of course, NFL 78. They'll go on what's been going on, what's happening, what the scores are, what our situation is in the countdown to the playoffs. Weaver will try to boom this one. Gets a better one away. That is Keith Wright, who will have some running room as he breaks it right up the middle and gets across the 20-yard line to the 23. 1:21 to go. Brian Seif and company still have time to get on the board. 3 quick touchdowns by Seattle, then a safety before Cleveland finally woke up. Next Sunday, A doubleheader starting off with NFL 78 before the game in your area. Football biorhythms will be discussed on NFL 78. That's something to look into. We had some experience with that. Now look at how they scout. Behind the scenes, look at how teams size up each other. The greatest of the great will preview and review Otis Taylor, plus all the NFL scores. And you've been looking at the games that we'll be showing you next week with Oakland, Miami, the feature. Miami won big today over the Redskins. Here's Brian Sipe. Gets it out here to the... Oh, Cleo Miller could not hang on to it. They're diving for it in the event it might be ruled a fumble, but no way. They faked it to Pruitt coming right and went back to Miller going left.
Play that the Browns used last week against the Rams very effectively. The double screen, fake to the one side, and then throwing the screen, setting it up on the other side. Didn't really fool the Seahawks, even though Cleo Miller dropped the ball. Probably was the best thing that happened to him.
Second down and 10 from the 23-yard line. 1:16. Clock is stopped. Both teams 7-6. Both teams coming off big wins last week. Big wins. Cleveland shutting down the Rams and running over their #1 defense. And Seattle becoming the first team in 13 years to beat Oakland twice in the same season. Brian Sipe fires it, has a man right in the middle, and looks like it is Ricky Feature. No, it's Reggie Rucker's back in. Rucker got back in and he made the catch.
Rucker moving out of the slot, being jammed a little bit, but he's a crafty old veteran. He knows exactly where to go. Comes up with the catch. This time holds on to the ball.
At the 38-yard line, less than a minute to go. Sipe back. Sipe looking. Sipe has a man, and there he is again. Reggie Rucker, another first down, and they call timeout at the 47th. Don Cockcroft, despite missing a 51-yard field goal attempt, remember, has an outstanding and strong leg. 9 out of 11 from the 40 to 49-yard range. And the least the Browns want is that. 45 seconds to go. The Browns on the move, trailing 23-7. This is December the 3rd, 1979. Is not too far away, and we've got a lot of great things for you before 1979, but there's an indication of what NBC Sports has coming up for you during the year 1979. Wimbledon, the Super Bowl, the beginning again of sports world, the basketball championships, the All-Star game. Got them all. Stick with us. At the 46-yard line, 1st and 10 Cleveland. They've got one more timeout left, and they've got 45 seconds in the half. Rucker and Logan both go to the left. Running backs, Cleo Miller, Greg Pruitt. Sipe is back. Sipe loops it long for Ozzie Newsome and overthrows him at the 7-yard line. Newsome back there with Cornell Webster. Newsome, an outstanding rookie. And were it not for a man by the name of Earl Campbell, he would get a lot more first-place votes, I think, than what he will get, because he is an outstanding rookie and an important reason why the Browns have come alive in 78. And I can hear some Brown fans say, come alive, we're down 23-7. But it has been a good season for them. They've been in a lot of ball games, some of which they should have won.
That's true, and Ozzie Newsome has been the big reason why their passing game has gelled so well this year. That time the Browns utilized the slot formation and brought Newsome on the tight side and worked him on Cornell Webster. He worked himself free.
Keith Wright wide to the left now, Rucker to the right. Newsome now told to split out about 5 yards to the right. Looks like Greg Pruitt straight up the middle. Look out. Makes a good move and gets inside, and now they're in field goal range and will probably call their last timeout. 30 seconds to go. They haven't called it yet. 25 seconds to go. They still have one timeout to go. Maybe they'll keep it until they have to use it. 21 seconds to go. Sipe gets the ball away down the sidelines and overthrows, and that stops the clock. 16 seconds to go, and now they can regroup. But they still have a timeout left according to the scoreboard.
Seahawks suspecting pass. Brian Sipe on a draw play to Greg Pruitt. He pops it following number 65, Henry Shepard. It's wide open. Tom DeLeon, 54, got a good block. That's Pruitt in the open. He's awfully dangerous in the broken field.
Well, the Browns have only scored 7 points, but Greg Pruitt already has 93 yards in the first half on just 6 rushes. Heath Wright is out. They've got a first down. Hold it, second down, and thus they've got a chance for a couple of throws into the end zone if they want to chance it before bringing on Cockcroft. It is 23-7. Logan goes to the left. Rucker comes to the right. And the crowd in the Kingdome comes alive. They've seen their team look outstanding. The safety blitz is on. Sipe throws it. Logan looks up. He never had a chance, and Sipe had to unload the ball because John Harris, the safety, was on a safety blitz. Never had a chance to let the pattern develop.
Well, if the Browns blockers could have done a little bit better job of picking up the blitzers, Sipe had 2 receivers, Logan and Newsome, open. Here's Sipe, and he's really getting a lot of pressure right there from the linebacker. He gets the ball off just in time. Dave Logan isn't quite into his pattern, doesn't make his break, and the ball is a little overthrown.
All right, it is third down with 11 seconds left to go in the half. The worst the Browns won is 3. The most they can get is 7. This will probably be the last play before an attempted field goal, if there is to be one. Sipe with time. Sipe, he's got a man and knocked down. Outstanding play by Webster. Cornell Webster came over. The ball was intended for Keith Wright. It's 4th down.
Sipe is looking to his right for Keith Wright. Cornell Webster playing deep in his zone, breaks on the ball as it's coming into Wright. Breaks in front of him, makes a good play, bats the ball away.
And now Don Cockcroft, who has missed from 51 yards out. The ball will be spotted with Logan holding at the 30-yard line. A 40-yard attempt. He is 9 for 11 from here, right in front of the goalpost. Trying to get the Browns into the dressing room with some momentum, and it is good. A 40-yard field goal by Don Cockcroft. And don't go away with 1 second to go in the half. This ball game is far from being over. It was 23-0. Now it is 23-10 with a second left to go in the half. And the Cleveland Browns, who look so flat, and the Seattle Seahawks, who look so good, suddenly it has been a reversal, at least in the last 4 minutes of the half.
Browns have really come back, and they're well within this ball game. And the kind of offense that they have with the big play men like Greg Pruitt, Reggie Rucker, Ozzie Newsome, they can certainly come back to win this ball game.
Well, the people in Seattle are saying, what is new? In the 7 games they've won, 6 times it's been in the 4th quarter that they have won the ball game, and 4 times it has been on the last play of the game that it's been decided. So I guess the folks in Seattle are used to this kind of stuff.
They're used to it.
They may not like it, but they're used to it. Al Hunter and Rufus Crawford go deep. Cockcroft might not put this ball up in the air, might just kick it along the ground because there's only 1 second to go, and as soon as a man touches it, that's about it. We'll see how he chooses to play it. But it's been a first half that has been all Seattle, and then, hold it, it's been all the Browns. But Seattle's got much the better of it on the scoreboard, but we still have a half to play. Kick it along the ground. One of the up men will take it. As soon as he does, now the clock starts. Time has run out. Up man takes it. First half is over. Excellent first half. They get a good hand from the capacity crowd here in the Kingdome. Seattle took the 23-0 lead. Now only to have Cleveland come back. And now at halftime, Seattle 23 and the Cleveland Browns 10. The preceding announcement furnishes a public service by the National Football League. I'm Jim Simpson with Paul Warfield. We've been treated to quite a first half, have we not? The Seahawks out in front 23-0. Then the Browns coming back with the final 10. And remember, both teams started this game 7-6. Lose and your season is all over as the playoff possibility is concerned. Win and you still have an outside chance. And that's what they'll try to do in the second half. And we'll be back for the second half a little bit later on. But now we switch you to New York and NFL 78 and Bryant Gumbel.
The
Cowboys and the Patriots are just two of many teams with playoff aspirations playing this day. The Dolphins, Jets, and Packers have kept their hopes alive. The Falcons and Eagles have gone down the drain, and with them, perhaps, their playoff hopes. Mike Adamle and I, Bryant Gumbel, will have a lot of scores and highlights for you. We realize some of you will be breaking away for local news, but we hope you'll be with us when we return after these messages from your local state.
Bob Hope salutes the Ohio...
Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to NFL 78. I'm Bryant Gumbel. Mike Adamle is in our highlight center. Week 14 has been very exciting. We'll try to get you caught up. The Redskins against the Dolphins. Tough day for the Redskins. They lost their 6th game in the last 8 tries. Were shut out, in fact, 16-0 by the Miami Dolphins. Bob Greasy had a big day. By contrast, Joe Theismann threw 4 interceptions, and therein was the story. And Mike, that Miami defense had not been playing well all the game long, but today they came up with them. We are not going to have the highlights of that ball game. Atlanta against Cincinnati. The Falcons needed a big win today. They did not get it. They came up short against the Cincinnati Bengals, 37-7. The Bengals intercepted 2 of Steve Bartkowski's tosses and ran them back for touchdowns. Magic number at Giant Stadium today was 6. For the Rams, 6th straight NFC West title. For the Giants, their 6th straight loss, the final 20-17. And the Rams did it without 4 of their running backs. They rushed for only 98 yards. Mike, you got a chance to tune in that game. Rams played well, despite having no offense.
Well, Brian, you're from Los Angeles, and you know that the Los Angeles Rams always rely on defense. They did so today, and they shut down the Giants. But it was close for a while, 10-10 at the half, as a matter of fact. Joe Pisarcik found out how tough the Ram defense can be when Bill Simpson tips his pass here, and it's picked off by number 53, Jim Youngblood. And Youngblood makes a fine run all the way down to the 7-yard line before Johnny Perkins puts a halt to his odyssey. One play later, in a 1st and 7 situation, Cullen Bryant rambles around right end and put the Giants on top 10-0. Giants did get on the scoreboard later in the 2nd quarter when Pisarcik hit Gary Shirk, and watch Shirk's great reception in the end zone to make it 10-7. A Danilo field goal made it 10-10.5. Pisarcik got hurt, and Randy Dean was his replacement, but Dean threw this interception to Pat Thomas, his 7th of the year, and that kind of iced the game for Los Angeles. At Shea Stadium, Joe Namath and the '69 Super Bowl champs were being honored today, and they must have liked what they saw because the Jets were victorious and kept their playoff hopes alive. Scott Durking scored first for the Jets for the 3-yard touchdown run. Bobby Jackson had a pass interference called against him, and it set up this Don McCauley touchdown run. And watch what he does to Don. He draws the official's flag and gets called for a personal foul. But one play later, after the kickoff, Matt Robinson cranked up his arm and hit Wesley Walker for one of 2 touchdown passes, 48 yards in all. And then later on, Matt Robinson did it again. He was 7 for 18 on the day, 186 yards and 2 touchdowns. His 2nd touchdown also to Wesley Walker, this time for 38 yards. Bruce Laird told me before the game, you know, the only way you can cover this guy is with a gun, and I believe him. On the day, Walker had 85 yards and touchdowns, and he became the first NFL receiver to go over the 1,000-yard mark this year. Steve Largent has just done it for the Seattle Seahawks also.
Mike, I'm not sure a gun would work with Walker anyway, man. It's faster than a speeding bullet. Green Bay against Tampa Bay. Packers, the winner today, 17-7. They still have very strong hopes of winning the NFC Central title. The Kansas City Chiefs, a fine young ball club under Marv Levy, won their 4th ball game today. They beat the Bills 14-10. They did it by intercepting Joe Ferguson 3 times. Philadelphia against Minnesota. The Eagles' playoff hopes took a beating today. They moved to 8-6. The Vikings moved to 8-5-1 with a 28-27 win. For Fran Tarkenton, 289 was the magic number. That's how many yards he passed for. And with his 289th completion, he set a new NFL record, breaking the mark of Sonny Jurgensen. Trailing 27-21 in the 4th quarter, Tarkenton hooked up with Bob Tucker here to go down to the Philadelphia 11-yard line. It was a big first down. It set up the winning touchdown. You see the clock in the corner. Threw a strike to Ahmad Rashad, and that's the kind of thing Fran's been doing for a lot of years now. It worked again today. 28-27, a final Minnesota over Philadelphia. St. Louis and Detroit, 2 clubs building for the future. Evidently, the Cardinals are building a little harder than the Lions because today they won a 21-14 victory. Gary Danielson had a very tough day for Detroit. 5 interceptions, and he was sacked 4 times. San Francisco against New Orleans, the Saints on top in this one, 24-13. Another typically brilliant day for Archie Manning. He threw 2 touchdown passes to super rookie Wes Chandler, 1 for 58 yards and 1 for 12 yards. Evidently, Chandler had been kept under wraps most of the year. He's finally getting it out now. New England against Dallas. A lot of people will tell you this is a preview of Super Bowl 13. Certainly, they are playing like it in Irving, Texas. New England on top 10-3 on a big run by Sam Cunningham. Let's check in with Mike Adamle. Mike, there is a lot of talent on the field in Irving.
You know, the story here has been the Patriots' success at running the football. You don't usually run well against the 4-3 flex defense, but the Patriots have. as a witness right here when Andy Johnson gets loose for 37 yards. He goes all the way down to the 39-yard line before Cliff Harris can push him out of bounds. On a 4th and 5 sort of situation, Posey went to kick the field goal. But watch Too Tall Jones, 72. Looks like R.C. Owens used to do blocking field goals. Patriots couldn't convert. But also in the first quarter, Grogan went back to pass. Charlie Waters picked it off and set up a field goal for Dallas to put them on top 3-0 early on. But Cunningham gets loose right here. Sam Cunningham, and watch him go. It looks like the Sam Cunningham at USC. 52 yards in all. Harris can't catch him. Scores for the Patriots 7-3. Posey kicked another field goal to make it 10-3 New England Dallas. Pittsburgh-Houston, what a game this is. And it's been a bruising game. Lynn Swan and Earl Campbell both have been hurt. They're both back in the game. Both boys are back in the game. Pastorini went on top first. He went for Mike Barber, but it was intercepted by Mike Wagner. The Steelers couldn't convert, though, and it remained 0-0. Houston's next possession, Pastorini went back to pass again, but this time Lambert picked it off. Bum Phillips looks on, a little bit disgusted, and Gorilla did kick the field goal to make it 3-0. Here's a play where Swan gets hurt. Wham! Greg Stemrick runs into him, and you see him writhing in pain. He got his ribs jammed. They are not broken. He is back in the game. And watch Earl Campbell here. He gets loose. He looks like he's going for the distance, but Donnie Shell, number 31, really racks him up. Ron Johnson recovers his fumble. He got hurt. Both Campbell and Swan are back in the game, but that's just an indication of how hard-hitting this contest is.
And that has been a very bruising ball game. Remember, Houston right now is 9-4, looking for a wild card berth, and Pittsburgh going into that ball game 11-2, seeking another AFC Central title. Another big ball game going on in the Kingdome, where Seattle is beating Cleveland. That ball game stands at 23-10, of course, at the half. Big day for the Zorn-Largent combination. Zorn has completed 12 of 17 for 180 yards and 1 touchdown. His favorite receiver, Largent, has 1 touchdown catch. He's caught 6 balls for a total of 95 yards. And if you're looking ahead, as I am, to 2 teams that go into this ball game 7-6, how they'll finish the season, the Browns still have to play the Jets and the Bengals. The Seahawks still have to play the Chargers and the Chiefs. At 7-6, they are very much alive in the playoff picture.
This 1978 National Football League game is brought to you by New Schlitz Light Natural Pilsner Beer. Still less filling with a taste that's bigger than light. By Dodge and your Dodge dealer, who invites you to come in and see why people are saying, hey, that's my Dodge. And by Sylvania, makers of Superset Color TV and a complete line of home entertainment products.
Hello again, everyone. Brian Gumbel back with you. Very quickly now, let's run down the scores of Week 14. Miami, a shutout winner over Washington today, 16-0. The Redskins have lost 6 of the last 8. Cincinnati, 37. Atlanta, 7. The Falcons' playoff hopes very much hurt. The Rams wrap up the NFC West title. They beat the Giants 20-17. The Jets, playoff hopes still alive. They beat the Colts 24-16, the final there. Green Bay, still looking to finish atop the NFC Central. They beat Tampa Bay 17-7. Kansas City defeated Buffalo in a battle of teams building for the future. Final 14-10. It was Minnesota 28, Philadelphia 27, as Fran Tarkenton broke an NFL record for completions. St. Louis 21, Detroit 14. New Orleans 24, San Francisco could only put 13 on the board. Game still in progress. It's New England 10 and Dallas 3, that ball game in the 3rd period. Houston and Pittsburgh are tied at 3 in the 3rd period. And the ball game going on right now also, it is Seattle 23 and Cleveland 10. We're going to return you for the second half of that ball game. We'll get to that right after this.
Sally, I want you to break in the new Colt.
Breaking in a frisky new Dodge Colt hatchback is just about the most enjoyable assignment you can get. It's got front-wheel drive, new twin-stick transmission, and it's real easy on the oats. If all that sounds good to you, see a Dodge dealer. He's got a whole stable of Colts imported from Japan. Ride 'em, cowperson.
That's my Dodge.
We found the sock. You find the foot that fits it.
We'll get him. Smell, Duke.
Yeah, come on.
There's something remarkable about Burlington
Well,
socks.
he's just fun in here.
A special treatment called BioGuard helps control sock odor. That goes for Burlington dress socks, casual socks, sports socks. Just look for the green stripe on the toe that says they've been treated with BioGuard. The odor controller lasts for the life of the sock.
I don't know what happened to you.
Only Burlington makes it.
Duke, where'd you go? Duke.
This is the Kmart 672, Kmart's best car battery. Like another leading premium battery, the 672 is calcium lead constructed. Like one other premium battery, it's truly maintenance-free, completely sealed so you never add water. But the 672 has one other feature you'll find only in Kmart automotive products. The 672, Kmart's best battery, is Kmart priced.
Jim Simpson, Paul Warfield, Kingdome, it's set out. And they're waiting the kickoff from her friend Herrera for the second half. There's Herrera, Keith Wright, Larry Collins deep. It's 23-10, Seattle, and Cleveland will get the football. Seattle scored the first 23 points of the first half, Cleveland the last 10. Here's Larry Collins, a good head of steam up across the 30-yard line. Collins still on his feet and out to midfield. And the Browns, who had all of that steam up, bring the ball out to midfield only to look behind and see a flag thrown back at the 21-yard line.
But before the flag was thrown, Larry Collins gathered in the ball on about the 4-yard line. He starts up following the wedge, starts to go to the outside to the right, gets a couple of good blocks. He's a 9.5 sprinter, and you don't want to let this guy get into the broken field because he can go all the way. Following his blocking nicely before being brought down at the 50.
The referee will tell us what happened. The teams are actually walking off the field. A clip called, and so that'll move them back. Excellent field position all the way out to the 50-yard line. And of course they step off the clip from the spot of the infraction, which is at the 21-yard line, and that's going to be a difference of about 40 yards. That is going to be a big difference because the Browns, as we said, scored the last 10 points of the first half. What they would like to do is to get something going, and this is not the way to get it started.
Personal foul and a clip on the run back. We enforce the clip half the distance. First down.
Well, the ball is at the 11 instead of at the 50. A 39-yard difference. Ryan Sipe will try to get things going. You can see Reggie Rucker there, one of the wide receivers. Backfield, Greg Pruitt and Cleo Miller. Mike Pruitt started but has not played much since the first quarter. Rucker in motion. Greg Pruitt, oh my. Look at number 62, Ernie Price. #1 draft choice of Detroit 6 years ago and played like it on that play. Rode right down the line of scrimmage and got Pruitt and knocked him down after about a yard gain. I beg your pardon, Cleo Miller. Got his second down and about 8.5.
Second and 8.
Rucker wide to the right, Logan to the left. And Sipe and company trying to get him out of trouble, and Seattle trying to keep him in trouble. First man through is Cleo Miller. He's going to get the first down. Miller brings him off the hook. Pete Simpson makes the tackle, playing over there for Dave Brown, but it's a first down at the 26-yard line. They're not out to where Larry Collins returned the football, Paul, but at least they've got some running room now.
Here's a look at the first half statistics, and it looks like it's all Seattle. 290 yards total rushing and passing. Turnovers, they're about the same. Passing, those are big differences. Zone is 12 out of 17.
First down, 26-yard line. Sipe to throw to Keith Wright. Wright steps back inside of Ernie Price and gets a couple of edges and then does a very dangerous thing. He puts the ball ahead while still falling down. Someone could have fallen on that ball, Paul, and taken Wright away from him. But they didn't, and Wright gets across the 30-yard line. A pickup of 5, second down and 5, and here he comes out. Sipe, we told you that Greg Pruitt and Cleo Miller in the backfield. Dave Logan, Reggie Rucker, the wide receivers, Newsom, the tight end, Deacon and Darrow, the tackles, Shepard and Jackson, the guards, and De Leon as its center. Second down, 5, lost the football. Belongs to Seattle. Big play. Looked like Bill Gregory came up with the football on the exchange. Number 77.
Brian Sipe fumbles the snap from center, and Doug Deacon, number 73, goes over Sipe as he is trying to pick up the ball, and it's recovered by Seattle. Big break for the Seahawks, and they have charge of the football.
Zorn at quarterback, of course. Dave Sims, 35. Sherman Smith, 47. The running backs, Largent, 80. McCullum, 84. Sawyer, 81, the tight end. Got great field position. Straight ahead, Sims gets inside the 25-yard line. Dave Sims was guilty of a big fumble back in the first half. Ball is at the 24-yard line. A gain of 4, second down and 6. Well, Cleveland had a lot going for it. Got the ball out to the 50. There was a clip. Picked up a first down. Then they lost the football on first down on the exchange of the ball from center to quarterback. And Deacon got over Sipe so he couldn't recover his own fumble. And look at this. They get away from Sherman Smith, and then they cut him down at the line of scrimmage. In the backfield very quickly was Mike St. Clair, and they got away from St. Clair. Now it's 3rd and long.
From the I formation, Sherman Smith on this delay handoff. That's number 72, Jerry Shirk, the all-pro defensive tackle. He's the guy that caused the problems. Smith spins away from him, but there's a host of Browns tacklers headed by 52, Dick Anderson, waiting for a very short gain, if any.
They'll make it Shirk instead of St. Clair that forced the play. 3rd down now and 7 to go. 3rd and 7. 3 wide receivers. Sims in motion. Zorn sprinting out, has all the time in the world, drills the ball in front of the intended receiver across the way. That's McCullum. Ball bounced in front of him, and this may be a chance for a friend Herrera to come on. Remember, with 3 seconds to go last week, he kicked a 46-yarder, and Zorn applauds as Herrera comes on. Also remember, from the field goal situation, Seattle has been known to do almost anything. And you see who is going to hold the ball for this 41-yard attempt. Herrera's 4 for 8. Whoops, hold it. Now, of course, everybody is pointing, including number 71, Jesse Turnbull, saying they did something. And Seattle is saying, you did something. And the Browns have yet made another mistake.
Browns defenders getting a little bit itchy right there. And there's contact that is made by Mickey Sims, number 78.
Well, I tell you, Herrera's going off. It's going to be 4th and short, and they're going to go for it. Apparently, Zorn is still in the backfield, but Largent has come on. Smith comes in. So it's going to be 4th down and about 1.5 feet, and that mistake may give Seattle a first down inside the 20.
The thing that you like about this Seattle team is that they will go for it on 4th down. They don't do the conventional all the time.
Well, that cost Oakland last week on 4th and 1 at the 21 when they were stopped. Now let's see what happens here. Sims has got the first down. Change around. A return to the 50-yard line. No good.
Jim Zorn, handoff to Dave Sims. He's trying to find a spot where he can go down the line of scrimmage. He finds daylight, out sprints Ron Bolton and Oliver Davis to the goal. What was apparently going to be a field goal try. A penalty occurred, and now a touchdown for Seattle.
His 2nd touchdown of the day, his 13th of the year for David Sims. And now Herrera's in to add the extra point. There is still a lot of time left, but the fact remains It is now 30-10. When on the opening kickoff at 23-10, Cleveland had the ball at the 50-yard line and were called for a penalty.
This is one of the most advanced motor cars ever built, and it's equipped with one of the most advanced car stereos ever built. It's by Craig. Who else? A power play cassette system, AM/FM road-rated receiver with digital station readout that becomes an electronic digital clock when the radio is on. And it's designed to fit virtually anything you can drive. The DeLorean sports car is not available yet, but the Craig stereo is. Just see your Craig dealer. Who else?
Wow! Sit down, Krebs.
Sorry, Teach. I didn't know the gum was loaded.
You didn't know Freshen Up was loaded with flavor?
The gum was loaded. But who expected all this taste? He didn't know. The gum was loaded. Hey, ordinary gum, this ain't.
Didn't you know Freshen Up loads delicious gum with refreshing liquid flavor boosters?
Now I do.
Freshen Up.
It's loaded
with flavor.
We have nothing in common, you know.
We have enough.
Cindy Williams stars in Ross Hunter's Suddenly Love, a bittersweet drama, Monday on NBC.
One of the most oft-asked questions is, Coach, what was the turning point of the ball game? What do you think a turning point of the ball game is this? 4th down, going for a field goal, went offside, and then all of a sudden it's 30-10.
You know, Jim Zorn hands the ball to David Sims. Look at him as he sort of stutters right here. Tom Darden, number 27, has a shot of him, but he can't quite get a hold of him, and then he just sprints to the goal line. David Sims, a little bit earlier in the second quarter, had a fumble that perhaps allowed Cleveland to get back into the ball game, but he makes up for it right there.
Now Cleveland thwarted by penalties all along throughout the game, especially in this second half. They'll try to get themselves on track. Keith Wright, outstanding kick returner, 20-yard line. 25-yard line, and down he goes. Hit hard by Keith Butler. Hey, buddy, you're not supposed to do that to me. We were teammates last year at Memphis State. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
You're watching the Seahawks on KING-TV, Seattle.
These are old buddies meeting on the field of play.
This is how an old buddy welcomes an old buddy after he hasn't seen him in about a year. Boom. Oh, boy, that's a big hit right there.
I'm Jim Simpson with Paul Warfield. It's first down from the 27-yard line, and it is 30-10. Here's Greg Pruitt. Pruitt saving tackle made by Ernie Price, number 62. You will see getting up there Terry Beeson, but Price, 62, just there getting up, is the man who made the saving tackle after a 7-yard pickup by Pruitt, who by our figures now is over 100 yards. New England and Dallas 10-all, third quarter. New England did have the lead at 10-3, but the Cowboys, they seldom lose down in Texas Stadium in Irvine, Texas, and they come back to tie. Big game, both teams. Especially since for Dallas, Miami beat Washington, Philadelphia's beaten by Minnesota in the Eastern Division. Greg Pruitt again. Boy, met head up, and it's going to be 3rd and short. Did not get it. Terry Beeson is there. Ernie Price is there again as they unravel. John Harris is there. And it's Brian Sipe, who may be calling on yet another tight end. That's what he's doing. Gary Parris is coming on. Calvin Hill is coming on the short yardage situation. 25 minutes to go. If they don't make it here, you know they're going to kick the ball away, but it's getting down to the point of no return, and they're still missing a person. They're missing Mike Pruitt, who failed to come in for Greg Pruitt. They've got 13 seconds left on the clock to get this play away. Now 10 as they come to the line of scrimmage. 5 to get it away. 3 to get it away. Gets it away. Calvin Hill, first down. Calvin Hill, they love him in Cleveland. He has come up with some clutch plays, and the Browns' way to the 7-6 season.
Calvin Hill, we haven't seen very much of him today, but here he takes this straight handoff from Pruitt, from sight, following Mike Pruitt, that is. He's hit by number 58, Terry Beeson, but Beeson can't hold a man that's as big as Calvin Hill from making that extra tough yardage.
Logan to the right. Rucker goes left. Ball at the 40-yard line. First down. Mike Pruitt is in the backfield now with Greg Pruitt. He has not played too much since the first quarter. Sipe throwing on first down. He's got to. Going deep down the sideline. His man is there. What a almost catch called it incomplete. That's Rucker. Oh, my. Rucker has been absolutely clear on one occasion. Caught the ball, bubbled it away. This time, beautiful coverage, but he almost made a big catch.
Reggie Rucker running a straight down the side. He makes a move to the inside. The cornerback bites on it. He gets beyond him on the outside. Now he has to stretch for this ball. Can't quite pull it in. You'll see right there. Can't quite pull it in before it touches the ground. Loses control of it. Almost a great catch.
Second down and 10. Whoever loses today, see you later for 78 and the playoffs. And right now it is the Seattle Seahawks who are alive and well and up by 20 points. Calvin Hill is back in, set up as a slot. Then went back as a tailback. Set it up on this side to Ozzie Newsome on a tight end screen. Newsome gets across the 45-yard line. It'll be third down and about 4 to go. And Ernie Price is there again. 3 times in the last 5 plays from scrimmage. Ernie Price has been a big man on the play. Clock continues to run, and the Browns need some scores in a hurry to get back in this game, even though we're just midway in the third quarter. Because Seattle, when they get the football, move it. They sold 64,782. Some folks decided to stay home. In the house, 62,262. They are sold out in the Kingdom. Keith Wright is in and wide left. Rucker to the right on third down and nearly 5. Everybody knows what's going to happen. Apparently, Calvin Hill is in. Sipe will go back to throw, and now he does not like what he sees, and so he says timeout. Took a look up. 8 men around the line of scrimmage. Walks over to talk to his coach. 7:52 to go. Big, crucial moment for the Browns. Third down and 5 at their own 45.
From the Cape to the Gulf, they know how to cook up a good time.
Beer makes it good. There's no debate.
A gumbo eating contest.
Beer makes it good. Schlitz makes it great.
11 million times a day, America reaches for a Schlitz.
Since 1849. There's no debate. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer. Schlitz makes it great.
1923, the first non-stop coast-to-coast flight made with Pennzoil. 1934, a new transcontinental speed record made with Pennzoil. Pennzoil goes the distance. Through the years, people have come to know and trust the quality in this bright yellow can. And today, Pennzoil still stands the test of quality. It's all there in the bright yellow can. Pennzoil, always worth asking for.
The upset-minded Baltimore Colts take on Terry Bradshaw and the playoff-bound Pittsburgh Steelers right after NFL 78, Saturday starting at 12:30 Eastern Time on NBC.
That's one reason why the Seahawks are up by 20. One reason. 9 times they've had a third down chance to convert, and 5 times they've made it, and the Browns are only 1 for 5. Here the third down and almost 5 yards to go. Sipe has talked to the coaching staff. He is back, and a big play for the Browns to keep something going and keep the ball away from that potent Seattle offense. Mike Pruitt, Calvin Hill, a setback. Reggie Rucker in motion. Sipe gets the ball away, has his man, and Pruitt dropped the ball. Mike Pruitt had a first down, dropped the football to kick it away. In a lot of traffic, couldn't hold on to it. Butler was there, Cronin was there. The linebackers Seattle uses in the 34 defense. On the Rose Bowl, USC, which is now 11-1. They defeated Hawaii last night. That's a good trip for the Trojans. Against Michigan, 10-1 and the Big Ten winners. The Pac-10, the Big Ten. They always say this, but it's true. The granddaddy of them all on NBC, Monday afternoon, January 1st. Big game. Michigan trying to get some glory back for the Big Ten, Paul. Your old conference has not done too well in the Rose Bowl in recent years.
Yeah, they certainly haven't. Maybe this year will be the year for the Wolverines and Bo Schembechler.
Johnny Evans kicking the ball away, and another good punt. Driving Rufus Crawford back inside the 10, and he's not going to go far, and there's the man. Keith Wright, number 89. Flag is down at the 35-yard line. A matter of fact, on the near 35, on the far 35. And Keith Wright, after that big hit, is going to take a blow here while we take a look at the officials to see what it is that's coming up. The ball is either going to be marked at the 11, or did the Browns commit some other kind of foul that's going to allow the Seattle Seahawks to get out of trouble. Evans, who didn't kick well at all last week, you can see the indication apparently it's against Seattle, has had a 57-yard punt today and a 49-yard punt today. And Sam Rutigliano was thinking of letting Cockcroft do some punting today because Johnny Evans has been under some pressure, but he's punted very well.
Well, he's been in a slump for the last couple of ball games, but he certainly has responded today with some excellent kicking for good distance, as you said, with the punt for over 50 yards and then the last punt of 49 yards. And so he's responded to the challenge very well.
Ball is on the 11-yard line, and now they'll tell us what it was that happened around the 35-yard line. And the Browns are coming back. Reggie Rucker is coming back on the field. Ozzie Newsome is coming back on the field. Don't tell me it's a first down. They've given no signal whatsoever. And the fans are on the officials because they haven't said a word. And now Frank Sinkovitz, the umpire, grabs the ball and puts it under his arm, and they're having a conversation on the field. They're trying to figure it out, and the man they're quizzing is number 90, Gil Mace, the head linesman. Now it's 4th down and almost 5. Did they jump offside? Although the flags were thrown way back at the 35-yard line. Notice Paul Warfield is not saying a thing.
Well, Paul Warfield is just as much in the dark until I saw Reggie Rucker wave his hand, so the Browns apparently have the football. And apparently it was a personal foul or a penalty of that nature to give them a first down.
Well, let's see what it is. They're going to mark it off from the 36. They just mark it 5 yards, which is enough for the first down. And now we will understand what is going on. We hope.
We have an illegal cut at the line of scrimmage on number 56. It's a 5-yard penalty, a first down. There was a trip on the play, but it was declined.
All right, there were 2 penalties. The illegal cut by Sammy Green gave them enough for the first down. And then the clip on the play was disallowed because by taking the 5 yards on the first down, well, you know why. They get the ball at the 49-yard line and keep it alive. 7:38 to go. One of the breaks the Browns have gotten when the yellow flags have been thrown. Don't get me wrong, Seattle's been outstanding, but the Browns have been beating themselves with silly mistakes, correctable mistakes. And this time, it was something Seattle did that gave the Browns a chance to keep going. Sight comes out throwing. He's got Calvin Hill to one side, but it's going for Ozzie Newsome and will throw it out of bounds. Absolutely had Calvin Hill to the far side, free of Keith Butler, who was nowhere around him, but he must have been thinking Ozzie Newsome all the way. Well, a rematch of a great game. Heisman Trophy winner Billy Sims fumbled at about the 3-yard line, and that's the only loss Oklahoma had. Nebraska will now meet Oklahoma in a rematch in the Orange Bowl right after that Rose Bowl Monday night here on NBC. 2nd down and 10 to go. Calvin Hill, who had been in run-up pattern, came back in and now runs out because there's not time enough for him to get in and get the play as there's 15 seconds and counting. Well, Greg and Mike Pruitt are the setbacks. Greg Pruitt dragged down. That is number 68, and that is Boyd making the stop. And it'll be 3rd down and 8.
Sight looked like he audibled at the line of scrimmage and changed the play. Perhaps he saw something as he approached the center, but apparently Seattle was not fooled as he tried Pruitt on a quick trap up the middle.
Calvin Hill brings in the play after starting in no less than 3 times and being called back no less than 3 times. Finally has the play they want to keep this moving. Big thing for Seattle is that all of this that is going on, they don't have the football, but the time is running down. And time favors Seattle with a 20-point lead. Whoops. Now did the center move? Apparently did. Someone moved on that offensive line. Instead of 3rd and 8, it's 3rd and 13.
Looked like George Beeler, number 62, the right guard, who was the man who was at fault on that particular infraction.
Illegal procedure, false start, number 62, 3rd down.
Number 62 is George Beeler. Well, there are times when you can get on what they call the zebras, the officials, for calling you for holding when you didn't think you were holding. But Cleveland has brought much of this on themselves. 4th down, forced to go for a field goal. They charged off sides, gave them a first down. They went for the first down, rather. Converted it into a touchdown. 3rd and 8 there. Illegal procedure. Sipe going to try to get him back, and he does. Rucker at the 32-yard line. Rucker's had some bad luck. There's a flag, though, back down at the 41-yard line. Holding against the Browns.
Well, it's not the way you win a ball game. Players have to take it upon themselves to have the responsibility that they will not hold, they will not commit that infraction in a situation where you're going for a big play or you're going for a play to maintain possession of a first down. We've seen it happen time and time again to Cleveland this afternoon.
Well, we'll just wait for Don Wedge, and I'll make a comment.
Holding, offense, number 73, 3rd down.
That was Deacon.
Reggie Rucker came up with a big catch. He slips inside the cornerback right here, running into the zone pattern. Watch him as he maneuvers into the open area. He's a smart receiver, veteran receiver with a lot of experience, makes the catch, but all for naught.
All right, it is 3rd down and 23 to go. There's a pass for Newsome, who caught the football at the 45-yard line, shy of the first down. Now it is 4th down and about 5 to go, and let us see what Retigliano does here. He is sending on the kicking team with 6:20 to go, 3rd quarter.
Sipe throwing a flag pattern to Ozzie Newsome, who's running to the corner, but cornerback back there, safety, Autry Beeman, number 27, puts a good lick on Ozzie and hits him and shakes him up a little bit.
The call is for Rufus Crawford again. As you look at Johnny Evans, who's had a good day punting today. They've got 10 men on the line of scrimmage. They may be coming. Seattle does many things. And Evans, a quarterback, is going to throw, and he throws, and Keith Wright has it, 1st down. Evans, a quarterback out of North Carolina State, threw the ball 2 weeks ago against Baltimore on 4th and 12. He ran the football for 1st down. This time he throws, and Wright has made 2 big plays in the last 5 minutes.
Johnny Evans, a versatile player back there. He is the 13 quarterback. He's looking around. He's calm. Lobs the pass to Keith Wright, who's wide open. Keith Wright makes a big catch. Has the 1st down for Cleveland. The Browns still have possession of the football, and if they can get something out of this, they'll be right back in the ball game.
5:41 to go. New England now trails Dallas. They're up in front 10-3. Now they're down to the Cowboys 10-3 in Pittsburgh in a real tough battle. Earl Campbell's been hurt in that one. 6-3 Pittsburgh. 1st down, Sipe back in. Sipe looking, has a man. That's Pruitt. Touchdown. And Cleveland climbs back into the ball game. On a 4th down play, they picked up the 1st down with a punter throwing, and then on the 1st down, Sipe hits Pruitt, touchdown.
Brian Sipe, great Pruitt in the left corner. He goes out of your screen. No one picks up Pruitt. Sipe lofts the ball over the linebacker's head into Pruitt's arms. He's just got 1 man to beat, and when Pruitt is in the broken field, he's going to beat 1 man 9 out of 10 times, or even 10 out of 10 times.
Well, now you can't say the ball game is over by any stretch of the imagination. Big extra point coming up. Cockcroft coming on, because we've still got 5.5 minutes to go to 3rd quarter. And Cockcroft adds the extra point. What I was about to say some time ago, you hate to get beaten, you hate to get knocked out of the chance for a playoff, but you don't like to beat yourself. And Cleveland has been beating itself a lot lately until this moment.
You're about to see something remarkable. Inkjet printing from IBM. A word processing breakthrough. In slow motion, see how ink is guided electronically to form letters of typewritten quality at speeds no typewriter can touch. Type, margins, and spacing are changed automatically. Envelopes and paper are fed automatically. Inkjet printing, part of IBM Office System 6. Fantastic.
Here we have a 1979 Dodge Omni with front-wheel drive, handy hatchback at the start of another day. Watch. There's a whole family taking off. Well, here comes Mom back, changing her duds. Listen, she's putting plants at the upstairs windows. Nice job, Mom. Hey, Dad's home. Whoops, he's off again with his little leaguers. Back home again. Hope they won.
The new Dodge Omni does it all. That's my Dodge.
Jim Simpson, Paul Warfield, 3rd quarter. The Kingdom crowd is slightly stunned for the moment. Crawford 34, Hunter 24. They keep thinking they've got it wrapped up, and the Browns keep pecking back. But it is still The Seahawks are in charge by 13 points, but with more than a quarter to go. And we expected a high-scoring game, and we already have one with more to come. Cockcroft kicking it off. The up man is Rufus Crawford at the 15-yard line. Very short kick. Gets hit by one man and is finally thrown back to the 20-yard line. But they're spotted at the 21-yard line. 1st and 10 for Seattle. Considering he got the ball at the 15, to have the ball spotted just over the 20, that's pretty good coverage. Well, Johnny Evans may have turned this game around.
Johnny Evans, he's the Browns quarterback. As I said, he's pretty calm back there. He looks around before he spots Keith Wright. Wright is wide open. He makes the catch. That was the big play in that drive to allow the Browns another shot at getting a score, and they took advantage of it.
Well, here come the Seahawks again, and Crowder capable of scoring right from here and spot the ball at the 22, not the 21. That's Sherman Smith in motion, and Zorn's going to throw on 1st down. Even though he's up by 13, puts it down there for Largent. Intercepted by Darden. His 9th interception of the year. Darden down inside the 40-yard line, where it's a 1st down for Cleveland. And just like that, Tom Darden has his 9th interception of the year, which ties him with Tommy James of Cleveland in 1950, but more importantly, gets the Browns solidly into the ball game.
Jim Zorn rolling out to his left and looking for Steve Largent. Largent runs an up-and-go pattern, but there's Tom Darden flowing over, playing the ball like a center fielder. He's a free safety. Comes up with interception number 9 and gives the Browns great field position and an opportunity to go up 7 more points possibly.
Am I correct in saying that it was strictly double coverage that did it there? Miami may have finished off Washington. Redskins are 8-6. Cincinnati 37-7 over Atlanta. The Rams won in the closing moments. The Jets won. Here comes Greg Coet. Coet to the sidelines. Put inside the 30-yard line. Inside the 25-yard line. 1st down Browns. Other scores today. Green Bay 17-7. They thought Minnesota was going to lose. It looked like it. Kansas City won another one. Marv Levy's done an outstanding job. But Minnesota did come from behind in the last minute and 29 seconds. So Green Bay and Minnesota still tied in the NFC Central Division. Detroit lost to St. Louis, and Bud Wilkinson, who has now won 5 and lost 9 after losing the first 8 in a row. New Orleans, for the first time in history, wins 6 ball games in a single season. 49ers having a disastrous season. 1st down Browns. Greg Pruitt. Oh my, nowhere to go. And down at the bottom there looks to be Niehaus. The #1 draft choice, the first man ever selected in the draft by the expansion Seattle Seahawks, playing today because Bill Sandifer has a knee. Niehaus makes the big stop. It's 2nd down and 9. Pittsburgh, remember Lynn Swann went out with ribs. We understand he's come back and is playing. Earl Campbell went to the sidelines. We understand that he is still out in this important game, with the Steelers up 6-3 over Houston. Do or die game for the Oilers, who are 9-4. They'd love to be 10-4. They'd be on their way to the playoff almost for sure. Sipe over the middle, nobody there. Had to get it away under tremendous pressure. Sipe had to get it away, and it's 3rd down and long. Newsom was downfield. Rucker was downfield. Neither one has even turned to look for the ball.
Newsom was the man the Sipe was looking for, as he was running a post pattern over the middle, but he took a little bit too long and was a little bit too deliberate in his pattern. Sipe was under pressure, had to get rid of the ball or either take a sack.
The way you describe that, Paul Warfield, it seems as though that's something as a rookie he's going to learn with experience.
He'll get a feel for that as time goes by. Something that he will have to learn to do is to break into the pattern a little more sharply and to get into the pattern quickly.
From a 22-yard line, situation 3rd down and 9 to go. Sipe looking for Rucker. Looks like it's intercepted by Webster. Webster's got the football. Flag goes down. Belongs to the Seahawks, and a flag went down. At the 5. Will a penalty give them added yardage? The Seahawks have stopped them for the moment. They've exchanged interceptions. The big thing is, do they stay at the 5 or do they get some yardage on a penalty? Because that's tough territory to operate down at the 5-yard line when there's a lot of time left in the 3rd quarter, but they're moving it out. And another penalty is going to give the Seahawks the ball at the 21 instead of at the 5. That's 15 yards from the 6 to the 21.
We have a personal foul, a late hit after the intercepted number 30, first down.
Leo Miller. They've had 2 personal fouls against the quarterback, and this time a late hit on the interceptor. That's the 9th penalty for 72 yards. Well, we'll come back. What a game.
Hey, see y'all down the road, Jack. If you're going to move your family, you can save a lot of money by renting a truck. Moving yourself, and you might as well rent a real truck. A Ryder. Ryder isn't famous for renting cars, beep, beep, little trailers. Ryder's famous for trucks. Pro drivers will tell you that.
Okay, King of the Road. Just hold the lamp.
Ryder, the best truck money can rent.
3 unidentified 19-inch color TV pictures, each the best of its brand. Over 1,000 people saw them and picked the one with the best overall picture. They didn't pick America's biggest seller, Zenith, or the second biggest, RCA. Over 60% picked the 19-inch Sylvania Superset. Over 60%. We're not the biggest, but a lot of people think we've got the best picture. The Sylvania Superset.
Brian Sipe back in the pocket. He's going to be looking for Reggie Rucker, number 33, who is running a sideline pattern. I'm sorry, a turn-in pattern, but Cornell Webster gets in front of Rucker and then just takes the ball away from him. Now, Cleo Miller, number 30, comes in, and he is accused of making a late hit, which the Browns are assessed a penalty that moves the ball out to beyond the 20-yard line.
You know, that did not look to me like a vicious hit, and it looked to me as though he might have thought Webster was still returning the football and was putting him down. But no matter, it's a late hit. So say the officials from the 21-yard line, first down. David Sims, 2 touchdowns today. Fine runner. Gets out to the 27-yard line. Outstanding runner. 13 touchdowns on the year. Sellout in the Kingdom. Hope you enjoyed today's game. We have 3:50 to go in the 3rd quarter. It's not over yet. Rory Hammerman, our producer. Barry Stoddard, our director. The Bobbsey twins from Los Angeles. What are they, around the corner from each other or something?
Yeah.
Up here doing their outstanding job. McCullum to the left, Largent to the right. 2nd down and 4 yards to go, and there goes Sims again. Boy, he breaks the tackles and has a first down. I do believe at the 31.5-yard line. Looks like a first down to me. Sims has proven today on that 4th down and 1 play, looking for a yard, and he went for a boodle, 19 yards and a touchdown.
Quick hitter to Sims. 56 Robert Jackson actually runs himself out of the play. They have Mike Sinclair, 74, sealed off, which opens up the hole. Then Sims uses a little bit of power on his own before he's brought down by Tom Darden and Robert Jackson.
30-17. They like to say the game is still in the hat. It is the first down. Largent in motion. Keeping the ball on the ground, and that is David Sims. Look at the moves. First to the right, then back to the left, and then back to the right before Tony Peters grabbed it. Now watch right, left, right.
Sims takes his hand off. He starts right. Watch him stop right here. Skips a step to the left. Finds an opening. Then darts back to the right before he's brought down. I think Robert Jackson is on the tackle again.
8 yards on the play. 2nd down and 2. And the clock all favors the Seahawks. We're in the 3rd quarter. Largent left. Last time they tried to throw to Largent, Darden made the interception. You would expect a run on 2nd down 2. And you're going to get it with Sherman Smith. And Smith gets away and they have the first down. In the backfield, Dick Ambrose almost had him, but he broke the tackle and got to the 40.5-yard line. Now watch Ambrose almost pull him down.
Sherman Smith here taking the handoff. He'll be met by Dick Ambrose. That's just a missed tackle right there. It allowed Smith to keep going and get beyond the first down marker to give Seattle another first down.
Well, they're going to measure for it, Paul. They brought the sticks clear across the field to show us that it is a first down.
I knew it all the time.
Sure. At the 41.5-yard line. 1:51 to go, third quarter. There's Jim Zorn, truly a man of the hour and a man of the future in the National Football League. His statistics are impressive. And the biggest thing is, when you talk around the league, I'm not talking around the cities of the league, around the league, the players and the other teams have the deepest respect for Jim Zorn.
Well, they should. He's a very fine quarterback. He has really virtually set this league on fire since coming in 3 years ago. He may even be a little bit better athlete than Fran Tarkenton.
Whoops. Fran's listening, I think, in Minnesota.
Well, sorry about that, Fran, but it's the facts.
Zorn going to the sidelines all by himself. Over there's McCullum. First down inside the 50-yard line at the 46-yard line. Ron Bolton put the hit on Sam McCullum. He's made a couple of catches today, but they've both been big ones. And each time Zorn has come out, shake his hand. Now he's picking up the play from Ron Howard. Again, not to repeat ourselves, Don Testament coming in. The longer the Seahawks hold on to the football, the better chance they have. They're up by less than 2 touchdowns, less than a minute to go, third quarter. One time Seattle had a 23-0 lead. Zorn back, lots of time. Oh, does he have time? Going for Largent down the sidelines. Largent can't get to it. With him was Oliver Davis. Davis had his eyes squarely on Largent's head. And I guess when Steve would begin to turn, then he might turn too. But Largent, who is not supposed to be fast, certainly had a step on Davis.
Had a step on Oliver Davis, but I had the sneaking suspicion or feeling that Oliver Davis would have been able to break on the ball, turn around and get it. In a foot race, I think Oliver Davis is going to win more times than he's going to lose against Steve Largent. Largent has had a great deal of success by running the finesse patterns underneath on Oliver Davis. That time he tried to pull him up and go deep on him, but didn't quite work out.
Second down and 10 from the 46-yard line. Clock is stopped at 42 seconds to go, third quarter. Play is coming from the sideline. Both teams 7 and 6. Each team has got the season is right here for both teams. Smith in motion. And there's Billy Sims trying to get some running room, and he always does, and gets down to the 40-yard line. And it'll be third down and 3.5. Jerry Shirk is over to make the tackle, number 72.
It's the same play again, that delayed sprint out sort of draw play, and with the same kind of success with Sims running the football.
Third down, and let's call it a little bit better than 3, Paul. And I don't know whether or not they're going to get this play off. 10 seconds. I think I said Billy Sims. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. My apologies to neither man, because they're both good football players. My apologies to you for having made the mistake. Time has run out in the third quarter. The Kingdom fans come alive. It is 30-17. The Seahawks with 15 minutes to go. Get your pencil and paper. I'll give you that Olympic address in a moment, in which you can send your tax-deductible contribution. Gee, the guy doesn't know we don't have the NBC worm anymore, Paul. I thought our red and blue N is very attractive. Anyway, they're dividing up the running very well. David Sims has rushed the ball 20 times for 82 yards. And Sherman Smith has rushed the ball 15 times for 87 yards. They're nearly even. Each has done an outstanding job. Third down. And about 3.5 to go. And Zorn's going to throw for it. Zorn has had time. Flag goes down, and it may be holding. May be holding. The ball is underthrown. Aimed for Sam McCullum on the far sideline, and a flag went down. Back at the 50-yard line, and very quickly it is picked up by Joe Jones, who gives it a little whirl and hands it back to the official because he knows against whom it is. Well, here's that address again for your tax-deductible contribution. Remember the Olympic Games in Lake Placid, just about a year and a couple of months away. And in Moscow, less than 2 years away. This is the Olympic address.
Holding. Offense. Number 73. Klein.
They refuse.
Fourth down.
The U.S. Olympic Games, Post Office Box 1980. T as in Tom, Cathedral Station, Boston, Massachusetts, 02118. Now, apparently, Herman Weaver will kick the ball away. Keith Wright is deep. I say apparently because the Seahawks have been known to do many things, and the Browns have already thrown on fourth down when Johnny Evans was back to punt. Weaver will kick the ball away. Kicks it high. toward the sidelines. This may be a goodie where it all depends on where they get it. They can't keep it from going into the end zone. So it'll come out to the 20-yard line. And down by 13, Cleveland will try to go to work. 14:46 to go. Browns have the football, 1st and 10 at their own 20.
Last battery your car will ever need.
That's a well-done sign in it. 77 is Gregory, 66 is Sandifer, 68 is Boyd, 62 is Price, 53 is Butler, 58 is Beeson, 56 is Green. You can see Harris back there and Cordell Webster. Well done. First down from 20-yard line. Greg Pruitt is across the 20 and gets out across the 25-yard line. It is 2nd down and 4. And while we were away, Paul and I and our crew were discussing what are they going to do, throw the ball. Paul's answer, they got a lot of time, and they did not throw the ball. They gave it to Pruitt, who's well over 100 yards today.
Well, he's enjoying his best day, really, in terms of total yardage since coming back from the injury that he suffered earlier in the year. And he's the guy that they look to in their offense, although they have other men in their offense that they go to. But Pruitt is the man who can break the big play.
Greg now has 113 yards unofficially. Rucker to the left, Logan to the right. Still better than 14 minutes left. The up man, Cleo Miller, and Miller, who got caught for the late hit, picks up a 1st down across the 30-yard line. And the Browns get some more operating room. Tendency is among many people who follow football to say, come on, put the ball up in the air. We're in the 4th quarter. But they have a chance to march for football and touchdown and come back and do it again and again.
Blindside. Handoff to the other back in the backfield, who is now Cleo Miller, who's a tough runner in his own right. He sort of just slides along the line and finds daylight and picks up the tough yardage. He's a good back.
Here's where Seattle's defense wants to come to the fore. Cornell Webster's just made an outstanding play back on the 6-yard line moments ago. They want another play like that. Hold him down. But here is Wright. He's having a good day. He is out of Memphis State, as we told you, number 5 draft choice. And he's at the 44-yard line. Another 1st down for the Browns. They started at the 20. They moved out to the 43.
Keith Wright is a good little ball player. He has a little more speed than Dave Logan. They may want him in the ball game at this point simply because he's the man who can go for the big play along with Reggie Rucker.
Now I seem to detect, Paul, that the Kingdom crowd is getting a little restive here, wanting their defense to come on. Let's get with it. Stop them. Greg Pruitt bobbled the ball for the moment, and he may have lost any chance he had, if he had a chance. Just gets back to the line of scrimmage. Is down, but Pruitt bobbled the ball, and Boyd was there, along with Green, to make the stop. The flag is down. Again. And they're going to mark it off against Seattle. And it's a big one. And now the Seahawks have done something they should not have done, and that takes the ball to the 43-yard line, which will be a 1st down for Cleveland. This is a big penalty.
Personal foul, number 56 on the defense, a late hit. 1st down.
You hate to do it, you hate to hear it. That's Sammy Green. Outstanding linebacker. 2nd-round draft choice out of Florida. A lot of speed, good linebacker, but like a couple of Cleveland men, he has come up with a personal foul. That is Steve Niehaus, who's playing today because Sandifer has a knee problem. And Niehaus has not been too healthy in the last year or so, but it looks like he's all right there as he's walking off the field. He has had his share of injuries.
Personal foul that occurred on Seattle has moved the ball into their own territory now, in the Seattle territory. Now we're going to see if the Browns are a good enough team that they can take advantage of an error that has been made. Most good teams will take advantage of the error, turn it into a score of some form or another.
As I said, Paul, you always second guess yourself, even if you play well. If you play poorly, that's when you're really upset at losing. And the Browns want to start playing well. Seattle played much better in the first 25 minutes of the ball game than they've been able to since. The Browns have been inching their way back into the ball game. Sipe going for Rucker, who is there with a step on his man. What a play! The play made by Keith Simpson. Got his hand up to knock it away. The rookie, the number 1 draft choice out of Memphis State. Rucker was there, and Simpson got a hand up.
Well, Sipe threw the ball very well. Rucker's looking over his shoulder. It's a difficult catch at this point. Simpson goes up. He doesn't quite hit the ball, but his hand may have distracted Reggie Rucker, and he may have lost the flight of the ball as it was coming in.
2nd down from the 43-yard line. Simpson was beaten on the play, got a hand up. Sipe is 14 for 27 and 191 yards, but a few balls have been dropped on Brian Sipe today. A few have been dropped. Second down and 10. They went for the bomb. 12:21 to go. 30-17 Seattle. Greg Pruitt, he may throw. He's thrown. Goes deep, and this may be intercepted. Johnny Harris intercepts at the 25, the 30, the 40. Harris is out to the 43-yard line. Greg Pruitt put that ball into a crowd. No chance to have it completed. And Harris had an easy interception. The ball was underthrown. A 27-yard return by John Harris, who has come up with his third interception of the year. And he made a big play defending against Cliff Branch last week and comes up with a big interception here. Still 12:07 to go. It's not over yet.
Kodak introduces Extramax, the ultimate can-do camera.
The new Kodak Extramax camera. Its fast lens and 400-speed film can take pictures without a flash. In light as low as this, and even this. And when there's no light, the Extramax camera has a built-in electronic flash. Extramax, the ultimate can-do camera from Kodak.
What a party.
Party?
Oh, Mr. Baker and his faithful companion, Fang.
Who is it?
It's me, Mobile, your detergent gasoline. I mean, I deserve a party. While you're up there making dough, I'm down here, ready to keep your carburetor clean to help your car run great. Now, I tell you, I don't get no respect.
But I bet your greatest part at parties.
Yeah, I'm a gas.
Mobile, your detergent gasoline.
There's my husband.
Sally Struthers, searching for her husband in post-war Vietnam, finds a love she never intended. My Husband is Missing, Tuesday on NBC.
Well, here's one that Greg Pruitt would like to have back. Throwing it sort of a little bit in a hurry. Doesn't quite get enough body and arm underneath it. The ball is turning over in the air like a dying quail. And John Harris comes over to intercept the dying quail and makes a pretty fancy return of it himself. Browns moving the ball, stopped again. Seattle has the ball.
Harris is another rookie in that defensive lineup out of Arizona State. Remember, Keith Simpson is the #1 draft choice. Harris is the #7 draft choice. Zorn comes out throwing and goes down the sideline for Sherman Smith. First down, 30-yard line. Zorn just keeps cranking up and throwing the football. Outstanding offensive team.
Well, they sent Sam McCollum deep, and then they sent Sherman Smith out of the backfield. He gets behind number 86, Gerald Irons, who's on the chase there, but number 47 has the ball out in the open. And he's brought down by Oliver Davis.
27-yard gain, and as we were saying that Cleveland wanted to climb back into the ball game, here is a chance now for Seattle to shut the Browns down. Big score here. It'd be awfully difficult to come back. 11 minutes, 20 seconds to go. A field goal would do them a lot of good. Sims carries the football, and David gets just inside the 30-yard line. In that right now, 14 points would make it 31-30 should the Browns get it. But a field goal, and they've got to score 3 times to win this football game.
You know, Jim, the thing that I really like about the Seattle Football Club is they don't sit on a lead. They don't go back and play it conservative. They're always going after you. And they make the big things and they make the big plays happen. And that's one of the reasons why they're out in front of this ball game.
Lord is 14 for 22 today, 212 yards for a touchdown pass for Largent. Up 27 yards, second down and 10 to go. Zorn is throwing again, has time again, and there's that man again, Largent, wrestled down by Bolton. Largent having an outstanding day. That is his 7th catch today, his 64th of the season. 64 catches.
Well, there's no small reason why he's leading the league. This club puts the ball up a lot, and they've got a fine young pass receiver in Steve Largent, and they've just got a good combination between Zorn and Largent. They work well together, and they make the completions.
103 yards now for Largent on his 7 catches. Third down and about a yard to go. 10 minutes to go. Lose this ball game and the season is over as far as the playoff is concerned. Win it and you've got a chance. And the Seahawks want to have that chance. They've beaten Oakland twice, but been beaten by Denver twice. Straight ahead, and I don't know whether or not he got the first down. Charlie Hall made the hit. It's very close to the first down. Looks as though he should have it, but when they unpile a group of folks like that, you never know. David Sims gets up, and it all depends on where the officials say. Here's Steve Largent. And Herrera is coming in, as he did not make it. Now to show you, at 30-17, 14 points by the Browns, and it's 31-30. As we said before, you get a field goal here, and they've got to score 3 times. So it'll make it awfully difficult for Fred Herrera, who won it with 3 seconds to go with a 46-yarder last week, can hit on a 37-yarder right here. This is a bigger play than what many people may realize. From 37 yards out, Herrera is good. Big play. That nudges it up to 33-17 with 9 minutes and 22 seconds left.
My radio? Okay. Where is it? Right here. But where's the radio? The radio's inside. See? Here's how you turn it on. It runs on a battery. He's cute and soft, too. Yeah.
9-volt battery not included. Petable portable radios. There's a brown spaniel, white terrier, black poodle, Pekingese, raccoon, and country mouse. Each radio animal sold separately at Radio Shack.
40 years ago, these 4-wheel drive Dodge trucks helped America do a really tough job. This year, the Dodge 4-wheel drive Power Wagons will do more tough jobs than ever with standard full-time 4-wheel drive that costs extra on Ford and Chevy. And the W150 has the lowest price of any short wheelbase 4-wheel drive pickup built in America. Dodge Power Wagons doing America's toughest jobs for more than 40 years.
Dodge is into trucking, like America's into jeans.
Hey, that's my Dodge.
Bowling's top men and women pros go head-to-head in the prestigious $100,000 AMF Grand Prix of Bowling. Live from Reno, Nevada, next Saturday on NBC.
Mark Roth, they mean anything to you? Virginia Norton, they mean anything to you? They should. They're the men's and women's top bowlers of the year. They'll be out in Reno, Nevada next Saturday afternoon here on NBC, and I'll be there, and it is a $100,000 event. We hope you'll join us right after Baltimore plays Pittsburgh. 9:22 to go. Herrera to kick off. The Browns in real trouble now. Their whole 1978 season sitting right there in front of them. They've got to score quick, and get a lot of scores, or they will be 7-7. Wright will not bring it out of the end zone. A little upset with himself, but it'll come out to the 20. And Seattle would be 8-6 and still in the game. Now, should Seattle win this ball game, Denver and Oakland are 8-5 and play each other tonight. Seattle would go into a flat-out tie with one or the other. But of course, Denver has beaten Seattle twice, and Seattle has beaten Oakland twice. So what they figure must happen, Denver's got to win 2 if Seattle's to win the division. Oakland has to win 1, lose 1, and Denver win a couple, lose a couple. I don't know. Let's let some professor describe it up. We'll all know when the 16-game season is over. Sipe trying to keep the Browns in it. Rucker down the sideline, double covered. Almost another great catch. Keith Simpson was all over him, and Rucker made a sliding try at the 45-yard line.
Probably got a knee burn there on the synthetic surface, but the pass was a little bit underthrown. Rucker ran an excellent pattern, an out-and-go pattern. Got upfield on the defender. Ball thrown just a little bit under him. He couldn't quite make the catch, but if it had been out there a little bit, may have had it for a big gainer.
2nd down and 10, and Brian Sipe on many occasions here today has come out throwing on 1st down. Jim Zorn has done that, but you kind of expect that out of the Seattle offense. Brian Sipe has done a lot of that. There's Jim Zorn along the sidelines. Outstanding young man, only 25 years old, went to that tremendous football school, California Poly at Pomona. But the Dallas Cowboys thought enough of him to take him to training camp before he wound up here. Look out, he gets the ball away. That's that fake to one side, then the other, and Newsom is thrown for a loss. Faked one way, went to the other. Audrey Beeman makes the stop of Ozzie Newsom. Loss on the play, 3rd down and 14.
Well, not much of anything is working now. Brian Sipe fakes the screen to the other side. Beeman Beeman is, comes in on Ozzie Newsome right here and makes a fine tackle. No gain.
Bill Gregory was causing a lot of Cleveland fans heart failure, including Brian Sight. He was all over Brian. Big number 77. Well, with 8:25 to go, you would have to think on 3rd down and long, time is running out on the Browns. They've got to hold on to the football because once the Seahawks get it, they've demonstrated they can hang on to it and score. 3rd down, flag down, Sight throws, and it's almost caught. Not caught. Almost caught by Rucker, who has a lot of almost today. But remember, a flag is down. A head linesman is coming in. Somebody might have been offside. They're walking up, and it's going to give them a reprieve for a moment as they bring the ball up to the 21-yard line. And we'll hear what happened.
Offside. Defense, number 62, 3rd down.
Seattle, 7th penalty today. Third down and 9. They get another shot. Sight. Hit. That may be a football. Gregory falls on it. Belongs to Seattle. Bill Gregory, who almost had him before, makes the play. 1st and goal to go, Seattle. 8:01 to go, and the Seahawks may be parting it. They figure they've got it.
The big play was made by the left defensive end, Ernie Price, number 62, as Brian Sight was looking for Reggie Rucker. Here's Price coming around his blocker, Barry Darrell. He makes the hit on Brian Sight, causing the fumble for number 77, Bill Gregory, to fall on it.
They'll mark the ball at the 9-yard line. Seahawks win today, will tie a 3rd-year expansion record of 8 wins. Seahawks win today, still in the running for the playoffs. They made believers out of Oakland. They beat them twice this year. The first team to do that in 13 years. And they're manhandling the Browns today. 1st and goal to go from the 9. Zorn. He'll throw on 1st down. He usually does. Now he's going to hang on to it and race inside the 10 for maybe a yard or 2. 2nd down and goal to go. 7:55 left.
Jim Zorn has only been under pressure a couple of times all day long. He's had a lot of time back there, and he's made the most of the time that the Browns have given him. He's hit a lot of different pass receivers today.
Seahawks came out firing Paul Warfield, and the Browns came out, frankly, very, very flat. They've tried to climb back into the ball game since the last 4 minutes of the 1st half. But penalties and mistakes and good play by Seattle has thwarted them. 2nd down. Sherman Smith in motion. Zorn hands to David Sims. Sims right up the middle. Touchdown. 3rd of the day. 14th of the year. That's it, folks. Touchdown of the day, 14th of the year.
David Sims having a great day. Well, this play has worked all day long. Why not one more time? Delayed draw right up the middle. David Sims, good blocking. Look at the blocking up there. Big hole before David Sims is met as he crosses the line by Tom Darden and Oliver Davis.
Herrera in to add the extra point. Points scored against Cleveland all year, 34 by Pittsburgh, and now it is 40 for Seattle, the highest point total of the year against the Browns.
Kathy, what are you doing in the dark?
Waiting for Santa.
Ho, ho, ho.
I wonder what he'll bring me.
Well, have you been a good little girl?
Person. Good little person.
Hey, person. Merry Christmas.
Make a dream come true this Christmas from Christmas Dreams Diamond Collection 79.
Life is for living, and Visa is there.
Antique treasures, touring pleasures, bright fabric by the yard, magic castles, Moorish castles, teasing the guard. Camp wagons, fierce dragons, aloha walking by, fettuccine, sukiyaki, ice cream and apple pie, Spanish dancers, Arctic prancers, your own place in the sun.
Visa is the most widely recognized card in the world. Visa, we're keeping up with you.
Tim Simpson, Paul Warfield, Larry Collins near side, Keith Wright the far side. We'll repeat again. The Pittsburgh Steelers rolled up 34 points in a 34-14 ball game, but the Browns have now given up 40 points. That's more points than they've given up all year long in a single game. And after their amazing win over the #1 defensive team in the league, the Rams, last week, they've come up and Seattle has really put it to them. And the Browns have not helped themselves on plays such as that. Picked up by Larry Collins. Maybe he can turn it into something. Collins in trouble. Excellent coverage. He won't go far. Down he goes, and a flag goes down at the 34-yard line. Flag down at the 34. Well, Paul, you're going to go back with the team tonight because you leave in the Cleveland area, and I'm sure it's going to be a disappointing flight and a disappointing week for the Browns and their fans.
It has to be a disappointing week. Browns still had an outside chance to make it to the playoffs. One would think that they would have responded to this ball game with great play today, but they haven't. They have played less than enthusiastic football here today, and frankly, Seattle has been the team that has taken charge and has really played well.
Well, here's yet another penalty being stepped off. 10 yards back to the 19-yard line.
Holding on the run back by number 57, 10-yard penalty.
Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
You're watching the Seahawks on KING-TV, Seattle.
Well, it may be that Steve Meyer will come on to play the last few moments of the game, and Zorn is through. Pruitt carries the football, not for much. That is Boyd, who has his hands around his feet, and you see Beeson getting up top. But it's Boyd, 68, that made the stop. 7:24 to go. Outstanding day for Zorn. Outstanding day for Largent. Outstanding day for Sims. Outstanding day for Smith. The Seattle offense today has been just outstanding, and the defense has done its job. They've held them to 17 points, including a remarkable interception on a big play that might have been the turning point of the game when Webster made an interception. Rucker this time has the football at the 33-yard line. Beeson does not like the fact that the man got away from him, but it's a first down at the 33, but they're less than 7 minutes to go. New England final. Dallas has won it 17-10, and so Dallas now has a 2-game lead over Philadelphia and Washington. Pittsburgh now out in front of Houston 13-3. Looks like they're going to win their division in a breeze. They would be 12-2 after today. Sight. Ball is thrown off the hand of Ozzie Newsome. Newsome, outstanding young rookie. So Dallas has got a big bulge in the Eastern Division now with 2 games to go. They've got a 2-game lead. Here at Kingdom in Seattle, the score is 40-17, of course, and immediately following NBC's football coverage, the wonderful world of Dizzy, and Bob Hope salutes the Ohio Jubilee, plus Centennial. Will be seen over many of these stations, except for most Mountain and Pacific time zone stations, where they'll be seen at their regular times. We're running a little long, and I guess the game has been too long for the Browns, and the Seahawks, they love it. 2nd down and 10. Sight. Going for Logan. Logan makes the catch at midfield. Down he goes. Another first down for the Cleveland Browns. Getting things cranked up here, but they are down by 23 points with 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Disney, remember to follow, except in the Mountain and Pacific time zone stations. A lot of teams creeping ever so close and closer to a playoff spot. Sight back. There's Greg Pruitt trying to get around and almost gets through a phalanx of men down to the 41-yard line. Beeson was the man who put him down, and it's 2nd down and 1. After today, New England will be 10-4. Miami is 9-5, so there's only a one-game lead there in the AFC East, and they play each other in the Orange Bowl on the final game of the season on the 18th. Pruitt goes straight. Hold it. That's Miller straight ahead. Miller gets out to the 25-yard line. A tackle made on him by Keith Simpson. First down from there, but the clock continues to run down. So New England and Miami are still battling it out. And remember, the New York Jets won today, so they are 8-6. Would be the same as Seattle. Their dive for one of the two playoff berths. Sight. Oh, does he have time? Loops it for Keith Wright. Wright down at the 5-yard line is knocked down there. It is 1st and goal to go.
Well, the Browns need a quick touchdown here, but it's a little bit, too little too late. Brian Seibel all day back here in the pocket. Loves this, and he lost the pass over the hands of Autry Beeman. Keith Wright makes a nice shoestring catch.
Well, and looking ahead to next season, and next week for that matter, Browns must be happy with Keith Wright. Here's Sight trying to get it to Calvin Hill, and cannot. Covered by the linebacker there on the play, Keith Butler. But Keith Wright done an outstanding job today, not only returning kickoffs, the few he's had a chance to return, but also catching the football. Wide receiver of the future for the Browns. I wonder what the odds are, Paul. I wonder what the odds are on a third-year expansion team not only making it to the playoffs as a wild card, but then going all the way. And
Truly would be a Cinderella team.
Well, don't you think the Seattle folks aren't thinking of that possibility? Looping it for Logan. Logan makes the catch. Touchdown. Logan gets him on the scoreboard. 5-yard touchdown pass by Dave Logan with 4:24 to go.
Logan makes his second touchdown pass today. Sipe just lost the ball up. Logan again 6'4". The man defending against him can't be much more than 6 foot even. And it's a mismatch, and Logan comes up with the catch for the touchdown. Kerry Austin was the defender. Kerry Justin, rather.
Who's Kerry Austin?
Steve Austin's younger brother.
Don Cockcroft in to kick the ball, and I would assume that he's also in to try an onside kick once this is good or not good. 4:24 to go. They need a lot of points, and it is good. And they add 7 points, and the score is now 40-24 in favor of Seattle. 40-24. Well, you will not see the Sperry NFL report today because of the lateness of this game. We're well past our time. So here are the finals. Miami 16, Washington nothing. Redskins may be out of the playoffs. Cincinnati wins at second, 37-7. Atlanta may be out of the playoffs. Los Angeles, they have clinched the playoff berth by beating the Giants 20-17. Baltimore, of course, they're out of it. The Jets are still in it. They're now 8-6, even without Richard Todd, who's on the injured reserve for the rest of the year. Green Bay 17-7 over Tampa Bay. More about that in a moment. Buffalo lost to Kansas City. The Chiefs under Marv Levy, very tough. They shut out San Diego in one of their games, remember. Philadelphia beaten in the last moments by Minnesota, and so now Minnesota and Green Bay are tied at 8-5-1, and Minnesota owns 2 wins over Green Bay this year. St. Louis won its 5th game, knocking off Monty Clark's Detroit team. That's the final. And New England, 10-3, they had the lead, third quarter, and lost 17-10. And Pittsburgh is leading Houston 13-3. Here's your onside kick. Flag goes down. Battle for the football at the 44-yard line. And somebody may have been offside, trying to get to the football in a hurry. Flag is picked up. Now it is thrown again. They picked it up and dropped it again. This is the final. Pittsburgh has beaten Houston 13-3. Now let's see what happened. This is Don Wedge, our referee.
We had offsides on the kicking team, declined. The short free kick recovered. First down for the receivers.
Now Pittsburgh is 12-2. Houston is 9-5, which means they are better than what Seattle is at 8-6, or what the loser of the Denver-Oakland game will be. Miami is 9-5, so it's still wide open. It's only an outside chance. Al Hunter trying to pick up some yardage. It's an outside chance, and it means what's going to happen in the rest of the games. It determines whether or not Seattle can make it to the playoffs. Because Houston, at 9-5, is in a better shot, and whoever loses Oakland or Denver tonight will be in a better shot. And, of course, if Oakland should lose, Seattle's already beaten them twice. And Miami is very much in it, and so is New England, depending on who wins and loses there. So it's just an outside chance for the Seattle Seahawks. Myers is now the quarterback. We told you he was going to come in. And Myers comes out throwing. Second down. Fires the football. Catch made inside the 35-yard line. Tony Peters makes the hit on Steve Rabel. And they may move the sticks. That's the first down inside the 35-yard line. 3:20 to go. 40-24 the score. When you get in a situation where a Miami or a New England or a Houston or an Oakland or Denver can beat you out for the wild card spot, you don't pay any attention to that stuff, I'd imagine, Paul. You figure we win them all and see what happens.
That's right. And if Seattle can win all of their ball games, Oakland and Denver are going to play later this evening. Oakland must play Miami later on in the year.
Next week.
In Miami.
But there's Houston lurking in there too, remember. There's Al Hunter trying to get some kind of running room. Houston next week gets New Orleans at New Orleans, and New Orleans has been proving tough. They won the 6th game of the year today, and Archie Manning is having an outstanding season. So anything can happen. I guess it's best just to wait till the final game is over, and we say that's it. These are the teams that go. Remember, there is an extra wild card team this year, 2 from each conference. And the first of the wild card team playoffs will be on Christmas Eve, the 24th of December. 40-24, Seattle. They had a 23-0 lead. They've been outscored since, but they've got enough. There's Don Testerman trying to get a few yards. Wiggles his way inside the 30. It'll be 3rd down and long. We're going to wind down to the 2-minute mark. And it obviously looks as though that the Browns are going to take the long flight home at 7-7 on the year, and Seattle's going to go home to their suburbs or wherever they live in Seattle with an 8-6 record. For it's Seattle 40, Cleveland 24 with 2 minutes to go.
It's a big, shiny machine. Dodge makes it. One of 28 pickup truck models for 1979, including roomy club cabs. Even roomier crew cabs. And 4-wheel drive power wagons that have an urge to play. Dodge makes pickups that help build houses and carry houses. And sometimes Dodge makes the day.
Dodge is into trucking, like America's into jeans. That's my Dodge.
And that's my Dodge. I was a secret money worrier until Connecticut General showed me how to reach financial independence in my lifetime. CG certainly came through for me.
My successful business became more successful after Connecticut General helped me work out a cash flow strategy. CG sure came through for me.
Coming through for you. That's what CG people do.
Call us. We'll come through for you, too.
Well, strange as it may seem, or as hard as it is to take for Cleveland Brown fans, the Browns figured that if they had just scored 17 points in all their ball games, they would only lost 3 games all year. Then they, with that in mind, they come in here and give up 40 points to Seattle. Meanwhile, the Seahawks under Jack Patera, Sam Rutigliano is despondent, have reacted well. It has always been an outstanding offensive team, but under Jim Zorn, his wide receivers and his backs, he has built an offense that is to be respected. And I'll say the cliche for one more time: if you don't believe me, if you don't believe what you see, ask the Oakland Raiders.
Well, the thing about the Seattle team that's impressive in today's performance, they've done what is expected of them offensively. They've scored points, and they've scored them all year long. But defensively, they've shut down an offensive team that's been pretty hot in the National Football League for the last 2 weeks. And so defensively, Seattle must be coming along, too. And last week, they held Oakland to less than 20 points.
Cleveland, 3 weeks ago, beat Baltimore with 45 points. Last week, beat the Rams with 30 points. Today, the different story. Meyer puts the ball up, has his receiver across the way, and there's Mr. Steve Largent again. That is his 8th catch of the day. He had 113 yards before that catch. I guess, well, he'll go out of the ball game. I don't know how seriously he's hurt. It doesn't look like it's that serious, but I'm not Steve Largent, so I don't know. But he goes out with 55 catches on the year. And remember, things don't get that easy for Seattle because San Diego, which beat them 24-20 in the opening game, is waiting for the Seahawks down there next week.
It's kind of too bad that Steve Largent got bumped right there, but it looks like he's starting to walk a little bit better now. Really, at this stage of the game, there's no need for a receiver of his caliber to be in the ball game.
4th down and a couple of yards. 1:08 to go. They'll give it to Don Testerman. Testerman's got the first down. Testerman fights his way inside the 15 as the flag goes down. Robert L. Jackson makes the stop. A flag down. And I always look at Turkey Joe Jones, number 64, because he'll tell you which way it's going. he leads the march back toward the other way.
Well, he called it right on the money there. The official was going the other way. So the Turkey knew. Turkey probably could qualify to be a lawyer out there on the field.
Ball on the 33.
Hold it. Offense. 7. 4th down.
David Sims, 3 touchdowns today. 14 on the season. Has led the team with Jim Zorn firing the ball to many different receivers. 8 times to Largent. But he's hit McCullum on 2 big plays. He's hit Rabel. He has hit Sawyer, the tight end, across the middle. And on tight end screens, it's been an offense. It's been a good one. Sherman Smith has ran well today. The Browns gave 17 game balls away last week after they beat the Rams. Seattle might be doing the same today, giving away a ton of game balls. Myers here looking around. Largent is still in and out of the hands of Charlie Hall. 54 seconds to go. That's right. Last week when Cleveland beat the Rams by the score of 30-19, they gave away 17 game balls, the most they ever gave away in 33 years. Well, today Seattle might nearly have that many to give balls to themselves on offense and defense.
You can really pick them because the Seahawks have played like a team that is trying to win the last 3 ball games of the season to help out their own chances of possibly making it into the playoffs. The Browns have not nearly played to their potential today.
Browns come home against the Jets and then wind up with Cincinnati. Cincinnati won today, but may have lost Ken Anderson for the season with a broken jaw. That's unconfirmed. Miller is in as the quarterback, intercepted by Keith Simpson. He has got a clear shot. We'll see you later. If you wanted a demonstration of how the Browns have played and what has happened today, you can take that play, the 37-yard return, and the defeat is final, conclusive, depressing, and devastating.
Mark Miller never saw him. Keith Simpson will knife right in front of the intended receiver, Calvin Hill. Now he's got open spaces, nobody there to get him. All the way 37 yards for the touchdown. Insult to injury to the Browns. It's been a rough day. It'll be a long flight for the Browns and me back to Cleveland.
Want to change your mind? Here's Herrera.
Might do that, Jim. Might stay over with you.
43 seconds to go, and can you believe it is 47-24. Seattle has devastated the Cleveland Browns.
I want you to meet my new business partner. He's a management genius, a whiz with figures, and he doesn't cost me much. Here he is. Not him. Sperry Univac's BC7 computer. What I really like about BC is he speaks and understands English, so we don't need a professional programmer. Inventory, please. It only took us a few days to get to know each other, and now he gives me any fact I need in seconds. Inventory or payroll, order entry, anything. He doesn't need a big office or special air conditioning. He even has his own health plan. If BC doesn't feel good, I just call these guys, Sperry Univac. What a partner. He's teaching me more about my business than I ever knew before. Hey, partner, how do you like your coffee? With or without?
Sperry, making machines do more so man can do more.
Jim Simpson, along with Paul Warfield, Keith Simpson, #1 draft choice. First interception as a pro, 37-yard touchdown. He won't find it that easy, but what a way to break in as an interceptor in the National Football League. Herrera will kick the ball off along the ground. The most points scored all year against the Browns. The most points scored all year by Seattle. 37 seconds to go. Executive producer of NBC's NFL Football is Don Omeyer. Telecast of today's game has been produced by Roy Hammerman, directed by Barry Stoddard, associate director Bob Bohachak. Our unit manager is Mike Pearson. And Lynn Kurth is our technical supervisor. We thank them all. Outstanding job of coverage, outstanding play by Seattle, and the Browns, well, had a tough day. Ball is knocked down by number 59, McShane, reserve linebacker. 29 seconds to go. 47-24. At one time, it was 23-0.
Well, Mark Miller's in there now, and it's a very difficult situation to try to complete a pass in. Seattle is virtually playing a prevent type of pass defense. You're going to find a lot of linebackers along with defensive backs just hanging loose and playing the ball in the secondary. Kind of tough to throw under these circumstances.
Well, as I said, Paul, I can't speak for the Cleveland Browns. It's tough to lose the ball game when you think you got a chance for the playoffs, but to play this way and lose really devastates you because they're never really in the football game. That is Collins carrying the football. They had a shot there to draw within 10, but then the interception came by Webster, and that took it away from them.
That's the disturbing thing about today's performance by the Browns. When they had an opportunity to get back into the ball game, they never really grasped at it, and they never really made a run at the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle, on the other hand, took advantage of all their opportunities and put the points on the board, and you could plainly tell that the guys in the blue jerseys out there today were a hungry football team.
First down, 22 seconds to go. Browns will wind up 7-7 out of the playoff picture. Seattle will wind up 8-6 with an outside chance for the playoff picture. This is Larry Collins turning in a good run, but he cuts back inside, and that will keep the clock running as he gets inside the 25-yard line. The clock is running, and apparently now they stop it with 9 seconds to go. It might be that Mark Miller wants to get one more shot, one more play in his quarterback. He's had very little chance this year. He's only thrown the ball 15 times, completed 7. Well, here in Seattle, where they've had their 5th consecutive sellout, they can now sit on pins and needles and wait for what's coming up next week. They got to go down against San Diego. And then Kansas City is here, and they are sold out for that one. They will have had 97% of their Kingdome capacity once they've completed their home season. And remember, Kansas City today had a win, and Kansas City, even though 4-10, Paul and I've seen Kansas City. They handed Cincinnati their first loss of the season, but they played outstanding football. They can be tough defensively. They control the football. So a long season for everybody. You just got to keep winning. Miller trying to hold his feet. 5 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2. Ball game is over, except for this play. In the end of the end zone is out of the end zone, and that's the way the game ends. Seattle has risen to the occasion beautifully. 47-24. I'm Jim Simpson with Paul Warfield. Stay tuned. Immediately following these messages, we'll join the wonderful world of Disney, and then Bob Hope salutes the Ohio Jubilee plus Centennial over most of these stations except for the Pacific and Mountain Time stations, where the programs will be seen at their regular times.
Cindy Williams and Ross Hunter suddenly love a bittersweet drama she was born to play, Monday on NBC.
Bravo! Western Airlines, the only way to fly.
Are you safe and snug there in your bed? Are you really protected in the dead of night against fire? Could you lead your family through smoke, darkness, fear, and confusion? Get the Wells Fargo Fire and Smoke Detector with automatic safety light. It will help you lead your family to safety. In the dead of night, a Wells Fargo detector could make a very big difference.
Excuse me, isn't that a Cadbury? I've never tried one. You mind if I have a juicy piece?
Well,
I'll just take a little bit.
It was for my wife and me.
Oh, she'll love it. You know, you can get carried away with this stuff.
Yes, I've noticed that.
Oh, come on, it's a big bar.
It's getting small.
Flushing, New York, the Jets against the Colts. Nostalgia, the order of the day. Weeb Eubank back with his upset Super Bowl.